Hey guys, welcome back to the Unlockable podcast. My name is Christian. I'm joined, as always, by the Game Girl Advances, P.
That's me.
Herself. Forgot to
How's
say
it
that part. Hannah just got back from Japan. She just traveled, and what day did you get back?
I got back on the 20th.
Oh, it's been a whole week. She's been sitting around, not doing anything, not thinking about this podcast at all.
Yeah, for sure not going to work or doing normal things. You're right. Sitting here waiting.
We're going to do a whole episode. I haven't talked to Hannah, all right, audience.
Yeah.
This is my first time speaking to Hannah, really. And,
In a month?
yeah, I'm pumped to hear about your trip. How's your week back been, though?
Weird. The jet lag is crazy. It was a 13-hour flight and then a 2-hour layover and then like another 2-hour flight. So just to put that in perspective, I left Japan on the 20th at 3 p.m. I got to Atlanta, which is where our connecting flight was, on the 20th at 3 p.m. So it's been very strange. I've taken a lot of naps, which I never do, and just been like really sleepy. I mean, I went back to work like the next day, so I guess that could probably be why. But
That's insane.
it's been a wild week, and I wake up and I'm confused. I'm like, where am I? Am I still in Japan? We went to so many different places, and it's like, no, damn it, I'm at home. It's like that.
Sounds like you enjoyed it then. Sounds like you're missing it.
Loved it. I am. And they say it's like post-Japan depression. I understand. It was like the greatest place I've ever been.
All right, hang on.
Awesome.
Let's just chat for a second before we get into all that.
You're right. I'm just so excited.
Yeah, I guess my week has been pretty good. My month has been pretty good. I just went to an Astros game the other day. That was fun.
Did they win?
They did win. It was actually Naruto themed night, and
Wow.
yeah, I've been hearing about these around the country actually. Like I think in Seattle recently they did like a One Piece night, and they gave out like a One Piece themed Mariners jersey or something.
Oh, that is sick.
It
you
is
know, there's
cool.
a collectible.
I know, it's like the double collectible. Like it crosses the boundaries between two collectible genres, you know.
Yeah, that's crazy.
So for ours, they had a bobblehead. It was a Naruto themed bobblehead of one of the players, and they wanted like $50 or $55. So
Whoa.
I'm like a medium Naruto fan at best. Like I watched it.
Right.
I haven't read nothing about the manga. I haven't like I'm pretty low level actually. Medium seems a little high.
Yeah.
I wasn't about to drop all that money, but I should check on eBay to see if they were like being resold for 3x. I would love to know.
I'm sure.
Yeah.
Especially as the years go on, it's gonna be crazy.
It's a cool exclusive. If you're like
That's pretty neat.
if you're like some Astros Naruto super fan, that speaks your language. And they're both orange, you know. It's kind of a perfect crossover.
Yeah, I mean, I guess they did it because it's so popular, but like
Right.
also a little random.
Yeah. I think it's funny that like the players are like our age-ish, you know, plus
Yeah.
or minus a handful of years. So it makes sense
Yeah.
that they would be like
Into
going,
it.
yeah, you know what I mean? Like it's funny to
Yeah.
think that we're getting old enough for people to be our age and into the things we like, I guess, if that makes sense.
Yeah, I understand. That is a weird thing.
It's like at one point you're watching NFL and it's like, oh, those people are younger than me now. It's like, oh, that's kind of
Yeah.
crazy.
They're like 20 years old.
Yeah.
You're like, oh dang, crazy.
Yeah, that's how my life's going.
Nice.
I guess we can get started. I think it's insane that you went to work the next day after the trip.
Yeah, I'm super lucky. Well, yeah. I mean, we got in real late, and then I woke up the next morning and did the thing. We got back on a Monday, so it was like, couldn't time that worse. Could come back, I don't know, maybe a Saturday, had one day to recover.
While you were
Nope.
gone, the PlayStation decided they were done with physical media.
Yeah. That was a shockwave heard around the world.
Yeah, literally.
Yeah.
The PS3,
Wild.
the PS Vita stores are closing. GTA 6 is not going to be physical. Yeah. It's been interesting while you've been gone, but
As I'm actively collecting retro games is wild.
and as you're actively turning into a Sony fangirl you know?
I know. Every time I try to root for them, they do something fucking dumb. Stupid. Whatever. That's our world now. It just makes me sad.
So, Hannah, I have a bunch of questions written down for you, and
Yay!
we also asked our listeners if they had any questions for you, and we got some good questions.
Yay!
I've lumped them all together into one document,
Nice.
and I've got them sort of categorized. So we're gonna kind of start with like the general culture of Japan, and I'm just like, for context, I've never been to Japan, and she's also never been until now, and
Right.
this, I guess, to kind of understand the point of view I'm coming from, like, I really haven't been outside of the country a whole heck of a lot. Like, I've been to Mexico a little bit on a cruise ship, if that even counts. So
Right.
I'm gonna have a lot of questions that like a newbie would ask.
Yeah.
um,
Yeah, I'm here for it.
and so we're going to ask a lot of questions kind of just about Japan in general, but also about the game stores. The game stores will be a large portion of it because this is a video game collecting podcast, and video game podcast, and because Hannah did go to a plethora of game stores, is my understanding.
I did.
Awesome. All right, let's get started. For myself and the listeners, what are the dates you were gone, or just like how long were you there? Whatever you feel like telling us.
So I left on July 1st, and I got back on July 20th.
It's easy to remember.
So it's right. I have it. I have a whole. Let me show you this. This is a travel guide that I made. So every day we start off so it's got notes on it of where we went, what times we need to be places, reservations we had. So it was very easy to kind of keep track of everything. So I have it all right here.
That's freaking crazy.
Yeah, when I was gone for, I guess, 19 and a half days, I guess I was there, and then the travel time to get there was, like, wild.
Yeah. I love that so if you're just a listener, she has a lot of stuff to show and tell this time around. Just FYI.
So many things, and I'll try to be as descriptive as possible. But yeah, I have so many things. So, like, I'm surrounded by things, and there's some things over here on my bed, and then on my shelf over here, it's wild. Like, I had to buy a specific another suitcase just to transport all this stuff home. That's how much stuff I had.
But that you planned for that, right?
Oh yeah, definitely. We knew that was gonna happen.
Yeah, and I guess for a little more context for the listeners, I was told in advance to make a list of things for Hannah to look out for while she was going to different game stores.
Yep. And I tried my best.
Yes, you did a great job, from what I've seen so far. What cities? So I guess I don't know what the best way would be to do this. I guess if you want to just kind of give us like an oversight of like the city that you landed in, and maybe the cities that you traveled to, and which ones that you actually stayed overnight in.
Yeah, I can do that. So we got there on the 1st. We flew into Tokyo, the Haneda airport. There's another one, or Narita, I think is the other one. Anyway, it doesn't matter. We flew into one airport, and we got in at like 3 o'clock p.m. So we couldn't really do too much, and we're also freaking exhausted.
Yeah.
So we went straight to our hotel, which is in Ueno, which is still in Tokyo. So I should say that Tokyo is more like, Japan's a big country, right? I mean, it's relatively small compared to ours, but like, it's still pretty big. So when I say Tokyo, all of these places for the first 5 days are in Tokyo. So it's more like a state.
Okay.
And then, like, all the towns are, like, towns. Like, your towns in your normal state would be. So Tokyo's massive. So everyone thinks, Tokyo, I can do that in a couple days. No, I can't. I could have spent the whole 3 weeks in one part of Tokyo, and I still would never have seen everything. It was wild.
Gotcha.
But anyway, yeah. So Tokyo, I was there for 5 days. And then we went to Kyoto, Osaka, and then we went to a smaller town but still relatively big, Kanazawa, which is kind of more in the mountains, and then Shirakawa-go, Takayama, and Matsumoto. If you've ever heard of those other places, Kanazawa's more like more like a geisha, kind of like old parts of it are like old Japan, and then Takayama is more like the samurai district, I suppose, and then Matsumoto also has kind of a big samurai and ninja culture. So I did that because I wanted to see like the big towns, like the big cities, like, the big skyscrapers and the giant crossing in Shibuya and all that kind of stuff. But I also wanted to see like the more down to earth, more like religious, more spiritual kind of places. So we did a widespread
Yeah.
of things.
Nice. Very cool. Um, that's everything. That's not just like Tokyo. That's everywhere you went.
That's everywhere. So that's all like the big states, as you would say.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
I appreciate you westernizing the lingo for us.
Yeah, and even like getting more specific than that, like their addresses still confuse the hell out of me. And like if it makes sense if I just think about it like a state, even though it's like it's really not.
So if you did you have like I mean you were texting me from time to time. Were you on Wi-Fi or did you have service? Did you pay for international?
I did an eSIM, which is like your phone basically runs on an eSIM now, anyways, and it was just like an international one. So I think I paid like $60 for an unlimited plan, which kind of seemed like a great ass deal because I used it. You're gonna be on your if you travel there, you're gonna be on your phone the entire time, looking at directions or
Yeah.
like where to find things, anything like that. I had my portable charger basically glued to my side. It was wild, but yeah, I
Yeah,
think
I would need my map. I can't. I mean, I can't even leave my house barely without a map because I'm 30 years old and I grew up with maps every day of my life. But
yeah.
um, yeah, I that makes a lot of sense.
And I will say the Apple Maps and Google Maps, like everything is so confusing. Apple Maps does a horrible job. Unless you can see that thing in the distance from me to you, well, I mean, whatever. It's like you're not going to find it. Sorry, it's impossible. Google Maps was better, but still not great.
Dang.
So just expect to get lost or use some Japanese only app, which I'm sure exists. I just didn't have it. It's wild.
All that prep you did beforehand, you weren't prepped for that.
No, like the craziest thing, and I'm sure people in like big cities, but like Texas has so many big cities, and I wouldn't consider like maybe New York. I think is the only city here, probably in the States, where you could think that everything is built on top of each other. So like they're massive sky rises, and they have like different things on different floors. And I was trying to find this one bookstore because my friend likes books, and so I was trying to get her something, and it was literally you had to go through an arcade, a massive like 10-story arcade, and there's an escalator. So I was like, okay, we'll just ride up the escalator. Maybe it's on the different floor. No. You had to go behind the escalator, between two massive arcade machines,
Wow.
and go down the stairs to like the basement level. So we were so damn lost the entire time, and it took us like freaking like 45 minutes to find this place. But I really wanted to find it. But like, your Google Maps isn't gonna be like, oh yeah, it's under the floor between these two, arcade machines behind this like cardboard cutout of an anime gal. It's like it's not gonna know that. So, and it's like every place was like that, and their hallways are so small, their staircases are so small. It was just it's like I can't even describe how compact and like I'm not even explaining it very well, but like their stuff is so compact. They pack so many things into one building. It's wild.
And
Absolutely wild.
and the population is dense, correct?
Yeah.
I mean, it's the people. I don't know what I'm trying to say. It's packed. There's a ton of people in a small country.
Yes, and it's not even really particularly tourist season because it was hotter than hell, but there were so many people everywhere, especially in Tokyo. It was wild. If you don't like people, do not go there. Do not go there if you're not willing to get bumped into, and I mean, politely as you can, but like when you have 1,000 people in such a small little area, you're gonna get bumped and bruised, and
That's funny. That's crazy.
they're like, oh my god, I'm so sorry about it, but like also get the hell out of my way. The light is green. I gotta walk. It's
And
wild.
you're just like on your
Absolutely
4
wild.
different maps, like spinning in circles.
Yeah, exactly. Oh shoot, no, we gotta turn around. So hold on, we gotta wait at this light. Oh my gosh, we're in the way. It was wild. It was definitely a I don't know, not a culture shock because I wasn't shocked by it, but just like being in the middle of it was very overwhelming at first. I needed a couple days to get used to that.
And I guess for the listeners, you went with your mother, and it was just y'all two, right?
Yes, I'm with my mom, and then my aunt and uncle and my 2 younger cousins, who are 9 and 11. We met them for some of the things, and then we diverged again. So
Cool.
we met them for some of the stuff, and then we left. But yeah, it was mostly just me and my mom.
Cool. Talk to me about like, I know hotels and Airbnb are what we have here. Is that what you do when you go to Japan, or is there hostels? I know they have those in Europe. What did you do, and what are the
Yes.
options?
So They have literally every single option you could possibly want. I did not do the hostels. I did all hotels through like booking.com or like those other things. The only time I specifically booked it through the website is if it has like really good English. Because a lot of the times, if it's only like a Japanese website, and I found this for the train system too, or like buses and stuff, is it doesn't accept English characters for name. So like you have to either put your name through like a Google Translate and write whatever it is in the katakana.
Wow.
And put that in there. So I did not want to do that because what if my name was different, and they check your passport for everything. So like how would they determine that whatever I wrote is like specifically what translates to English? So I didn't mess with that at all. I did like all booking.com, which I don't do here in the States because I find it super unreliable, but it's great over there and I would recommend. But yeah, they have hostels and they're like super cheap. They have capsule hotels, which I don't know if you know what that is. It's like literally like you're in a tiny little capsule and you have like a power outlet, you have like a tiny TV, there's a shared bathroom, there's a shared shower, there's like luggage lockers so you can like lock your stuff away.
Wow.
I'm sure you've seen it, right?
It's not sounding familiar.
Tiny.
That's crazy.
Really? Okay. It's like a little closet, but you can't stand up. It's like you can only crawl into it.
That just tiny. Actually sounds like my worst nightmare. That sounds horrible.
Yeah, so it was like a big phenomena like a while ago, but then I guess now I wanted to stay in one, but we had so much stuff it just seemed unlikely. Now they're used for like when the trains stop running, because they do stop. It's not like here where things just constantly keep moving. There are towns that like go to sleep and it's like weird if you're out. But if the trains stop, then you can get like stay in a capsule hotel for like a couple hours till the next train runs. So it's more for like drunk young kids or like, you know, the youths, if you will,
Interesting.
who are out late. So it's quite loud. But yeah, I did hotels. I did ryokans, which are like a Japanese style hotel. And sometimes it's like a shared bathroom experience. Sometimes it's a private bathroom. I opted for the private bathroom because that's just what I know my mom and I would be more comfortable with. And let's see, we did more traditional hotels, like more modern ones like you'd find here. We did one where it's like I got a whole Japanese house just for the two of us, and it was like renovated, of course. So I had like a washer, dryer, bathroom, everything like that, but it was like, you know, like an older house, and it looked very Japanese. There was no beds. We slept on the floor, like on the futons. I'm sure you've seen that in anime. It's like a futon mat, and you lay on that on the floor. Let's see, what else did we do? We did one was really nice where we had an onsen, which is like, it's basically like a hot tub, but they have a culture of you go and you just use the public bath. You're in the nude, and it's like split between men and women, and you go there and you bathe in like a public bathing house. I wasn't comfortable with that, and my mom has tattoos, so she's not allowed to. So we did like a private one where we had one on the balcony that you can use by yourself. That one was really cool.
Interesting.
And then, let's see, what else do we do? My favorite one is, I don't know if we want to talk about that now or later, as far as hotels, the ones that I did.
You want to save it?
I mean, I don't know if it's going to come up because I don't know what the questions are. But
no,
anyway,
that's the only section I have about hotels is right here.
Okay, then I'll share it. So I was lucky enough to get to stay in the original Nintendo headquarters, the original one where they started making hanafuda cards, as well as be in the home and the warehouse of the original creator of Nintendo. So it's really cool. It's called Maru Fukuro, and I think, as far as I know, he's still a part of it. The family's still a part of it. I'm sure he's dead. Long dead.
What the heck? I didn't know this was a thing.
So they redid, I thought Nintendo had it this whole time, and it was just like, you know, whatever, part of history. But no, they redid it to a hotel. And so there's 4 different properties, and I will try to remember all of them. But there's the original headquarters, and it has all the original stuff. Like there's the original tile, the original like glass blocks in the floor. There's the original like little hair in there. There's the original punch card, like, you know, back in the day you have to put the thing in. There's the original one of those. They have Nintendo like artifacts galore everywhere. Not like Mario or anything like that, but they have like old hanafuda cards and like their old logos and like their old kind of stuff when they way before video games. There's like no references to video games in there at all. His original house.
That in and of itself is actually pretty cool. The fact that they're
Yeah.
specifically pre-video game stuff in there.
Yes. And so very proud of that. And they have, it was his original house. So the warehouse, his original house, like the original offices. And then they have a fourth building, which was designed by like a really famous Japanese artist. And I can't remember his name, unfortunately. But yeah, so there's 4 properties and it's all connected. Everything's the same. The stone walls are the same. The structure's completely the same. It's just been redone on the inside to make it, hotel rooms. And his original house is like a huge, like a massage parlor. Is that what they call it? I don't know. But like where you can go and like get fancy massages and stuff.
Wow, and so this used to be like a factory or just like an office space, I guess.
Yeah. Yep. And they completely did it, except for the first building, which is like the actual like reception and like headquarters and whatever, is like basically all the same.
Man, that is super freaking cool. I had no idea.
I didn't know they did it. I figured Nintendo still had it. Like, why wouldn't they? And just put like, I don't know, extra offices in there for people who work there or whatever. Crazy.
Huh.
And then another very fun thing, which is another reason why wanted to stay there, is they have a private library called the DNA library. DN, like capital N, like Nintendo, A library. And they have like books curated specifically from like the creator's family and everything, and like things about Nintendo's history. And they have video game things in there, of course, because it's Nintendo. But they have like, I don't know, it didn't have like a label, but it looked like the original prototype, or like a print of a prototype of the Famicom. It was like all white, like all plasticky. I don't know if it was like a casing of it or like a cast of it or whatever. They also had like the original stamps that said Nintendo on it. And they obviously have the placards outside, which will lead me to this next thing. So you can only get this if you stay at the hotel. But it is what our keys came on, like actual legit keys. So it's the placard of the outside. It says Nintendo playing cards. It's a keychain, and it's really heavy. It doesn't seem like it, but it's very heavy. So it's got both sides. It's got the English one and the other one. So you can only get it if you stay there.
Were you supposed to give that back, or it was like you're supposed to take it home?
No, so you can buy it, you can purchase it. So the keys come on these, but then you can purchase it at their like reception later. So I did because
that's so cool.
But it was a very, very, very stupidly expensive, but very, very nice hotel. They had snacks available for you 24/7. You could go to the library 24/7. It had a code, so you can't just like willy-nilly walk in there unless you're like a guest. The service was great. It was fantastic. They were super proud of it. They have like the original elevator shafts. They have some of like the original cards hung up on the wall. And they have everything split up into like, because obviously Nintendo started making cards. So there's like, we were in the club room, but there's also a spade room, or like the spade tower, the heart tower. So I just thought that was like a really cool homage to like their history. Yeah. It was very cool.
So this is like, just to be clear, I mean, this is a Nintendo sanctioned thing. This isn't like some third party that owns this, or you don't know.
I think it is. I don't think Nintendo has anything to do with it.
Okay. That's crazy.
Think it's absolutely like I don't know if they sold it or maybe they're partnered with it. I don't know. They didn't really specifically say. But it's a company, and I think they have several around the world that came in and redid it all.
That's freaking cool. I mean, I had no idea you were doing that, and
yeah.
I mean, that was part of the plan, right? You didn't just like discover that while you were there.
No, I knew that. And I don't know how I knew that. I don't know if I just looked it up, or like maybe I looked up places to do that are like Nintendo related in Japan, and then that came up because I had no clue like before this trip. I think I was researching for this trip and I saw that. But yeah, it was quite an amazing experience.
Oh, that's freaking awesome.
And the room was super nice, and they had everything. The fridge was stocked, and they said complimentary, which was great.
That's the best place you stayed? We'll talk
about the food later, but what?
Is that the best place you stayed? Best hotel?
In terms of what it means to me, yes, but in terms of like fancy or like authentic, no, I would say not. It was very modern. It had a Japanese twist. Like, of course, you were sleeping on like the tatami mats, which is like, I'm sure you've seen in anime. It's like the wooden-esque looking straw kind of mats that they have in all their traditional houses. But it was absolutely a modern hotel. Like, Don't get me wrong.
I got
It
you.
wasn't the most authentic experience, but I loved it. I would do it again. It was so nice and relaxing and calming, and they had just like little nods to Nintendo everywhere. It was nice.
How neat.
It was very cool.
Did you want to mention another hotel, or that was it?
Let's see. As far as the other ones we stayed in, no, I mean, I think I kind of covered all of it. That was the most, at least one related to gaming and stuff.
Dan Evil Robot's our first write-in that's applicable here. He asked, "Did you have to learn or speak the language?" I know that you speak a lot of Japanese. You maybe not quite fluent, but or maybe you are. I don't know. You tell me.
Mm-mm. Certainly not. I do, and I don't use it often, of course, but I have a degree in Japanese. It's certainly a lot rustier than when I first graduated with it. I did my best, and if you ask my mother, she'd say I did great, but it was very broken, because she doesn't know what I'm saying, right? It's like just imagine a foreign person comes up to you, and they might have, studied the language a lot, but when they come up to you, it's broken, and I've forgotten many words, and, but yeah, I think I did great, but I don't know, it was definitely not as good as it once was, if that makes sense. But that being said, you can absolutely navigate without knowing any Japanese at all. Like, a lot of people speak English, and at least you can work. I mean, maybe not in like the small towns, but even then we met people who spoke English all the time. But yeah, one thing that did make me feel good though is like every time I would speak Japanese to them, they'd be surprised. They're like, "Oh my god, you speak Japanese? Like, why would this little white girl, speak Japanese?" And they'd always be like, "Oh my god, your Japanese is so good." I think I have the pronunciation right, but like the words don't come to me as fast as it used to. I have to think about it. I'm like, "Hold on, give me a minute." And I'd be like, "Okay, is this the word?" And then I'd say it, and they'd be like, "Yeah, you got it. That's the word."
Yeah, I bet that was freaking awesome to exercise that lesson. I mean, that years of lessons, and that must have been an awesome feeling.
Literally every single time they looked at me and they'd be like shocked, like absolutely, like I guess just a lot of people come there and like don't even try to learn like any of the words. You know what I'm saying? Like, no thank you, no hello, no good morning. They're just like, they just speak English, whatever their native language is. I guess, I don't know. I always find it helpful to learn easy words, words that are easy to communicate, or I don't know. They were shocked every single time. Like, oh my god. Like, what? You understand me? It's wild.
So, as far as the traveling, the hotels, places where you need to be able to speak to someone, you feel like someone with minimal to no Japanese is safe. They can get there and get home in peace.
Yeah, absolutely. Many people speak English. Everything you could just gesture to them, or you can do like Google Translate, which had happened a couple times. So yeah, lots of people speak English, especially the easy words like, "Oh, help, I'm lost." They'd be like, "Oh, I got you," Or like, especially things with like trains or like miscommunications. Honestly, they're mostly just like, just go for it. It's fine. Whatever. We'll figure it out. We'll cover it. Whatever. But yeah. Definitely. I mean, it's not difficult. You'd be fine.
Okay, so I know you must have done a ton of sightseeing. I want to hear about that.
Yep.
Tell me how the weather was. Was it rainy? Was it hot? How was it?
Well, my aunt and my uncle got there a week before we did. They went through an earthquake and a twin typhoon, which is basically just like two massive rainstorms.
Wow.
And then by the time we got there, the rain had stopped. It was just super hot. So like as a Floridian, I'm used to the hot. But of course I'm not outside walking 10 miles a day, right? So it was atrociously hot at some points. It was fine when it was like cloud coverage, or like their temperature drops off a lot. So if it's like covered by clouds, it's not too hot. But it is very humid, and in the direct sunlight it is borderline miserable. So everybody, and I mean everybody, carries an umbrella with them. They have like special UV umbrellas where it's like black on the inside, white on the outside, so it kind of like reflects it, and so you're not in direct sunlight, which is a big thing for them. And everyone carries around a fan, like a handheld fan. Everybody and their mother, the kids have it, an umbrella and a fan.
And I guess a question regarding the hotels and just like everywhere, is there air conditioning?
Yes. So I'm sure there are places without it. I don't see how they could survive without it. But it's not like central air like we have. Like they don't have big houses where you can put the AC unit in like the garage or like in the attic like you guys have it over there. They're like wall mounts, but not like window shakers like we had here. They're like specific tiny little units that you can just stick on the wall, and they work. Don't get me wrong, but for the bigger house, like the house that I had rented, we had 3 different units in 3 different rooms, but they have it such that the doors close so that it really just cools down that room. So like the bedrooms have it, the kitchen had it, and then like the living room had it, but like the bathroom didn't have one. Like the main hallway to get into the house didn't have one where you like take your shoes off and get prepared for that. So it's probably obviously more expensive to heat it. But I always opted for the place with AC because that I wasn't gonna spend all that money to be miserable over there, you know.
Yeah.
So yes, they do have AC. Every place we went to had AC. It was just selective where it was.
Heck yeah. Okay.
That makes sense. And it did rain a couple times, but nothing super bad. Like it didn't, like here we'll have like a torrential downpour and it's like scary thunder outside. It wasn't bad. Like you could walk outside and be fine if you had an umbrella.
Any cool sites you want to talk about? You don't have to list them all unless you want to.
Yeah. Totally recommend, like besides going to the big cities, that's super nice, but I also like the cultural things. So I visited as many shrines as I possibly could. Actually, I'll show you something that's really cool. I visited as many shrines as I could, which is like their places of like religious worship, and also temples. So shrines are the Shinto religion, which is more about like, I don't know, life and celebrating. And then there's Buddhism, which is the temples. So they're different religions. People get them confused. I get them confused because they are kind of confusing. But this is like a stamp book. It's called a Goshuin. And so every temple and every shrine that I went to, they make like this is all handwritten. This black stuff is all calligraphy. Like they take out their brush, they take out their ink, and they write it down. So I don't specifically remember what is what, but one of these I think is in the corners here is the date. So these are 2 separate ones, and these are just examples. But it's like the temple, what it is, where it is, the date. So it's very specific to obviously the day that you go, and every kind of shrine has their own ones. I'll show you a different one that's kind of unique. So you just go there, and they have specific people there who've like trained in it. Here's another example. So they're kind of a little different. They also have pre-done ones. You go, it's like 500 yen, which was like $3 to us or whatever, and they do it in front of you. Most of them do it in front of you,
beautiful.
But they all have like unique stamps. They all tell like a different story, which I thought was really, really cool. They have special books that you have to have for it because obviously the ink has to dry and whatnot. This one's also really cool. It's got like a little lotus thing. The coolest ones that I went to, in terms of like the stamps, one of them like lit it on fire briefly. Like they used the flint and they struck over it because that's like a big thing for them. Another one like set it on a big block of ice. Because that's like, it's like the ice temple or whatever. So they all have like their own unique little things. This is probably the most unique thing that I got. All the other stuff is just things.
They set what on fire?
They just set the stamp on fire. Like they did the stamp and then they went chink chink and it lit up for a second and then it stopped.
That's very
Not
cool.
like big fire, but just like a quick little zap like that. Nothing got burned.
Okay.
But that's super fun. You can't get it at all the temples and all the shrines, of course. Only like the bigger ones. You can only do it from obviously like 9 to 5. They're not going to be there all day long. My favorite shrine is Fushimi Inari, which I'm sure you've seen it. It's a really big one where they have all the red torii gates and there's like miles and miles and miles of it. They're all red. I'm sure you've seen it. The torii gates are just like the red, gates like this. That one was super fun. We hiked all the way to the top of that one, which I was wearing pants, which is another thing we can talk about. When you go to these places, you should wear... I like to assimilate to the culture, right? And I knew going in that it's a religious place, so you shouldn't wear, like, revealing clothes. You shouldn't really wear shorts or anything, or, like, anything's popping out, no cleavage or anything like that. So I wore, like, very coverage clothes and long pants over there. But I got specific pants. I don't know if you've ever heard of the brand Uniqlo.
Yeah.
It's like so I think they have them in Texas, but that's, like, a really big Japanese brand, and, like, they wear that kind of stuff all the time. They don't go out of their house wearing like grubby t-shirts like we do and like athletic wear. That's like a no-no over there. So they're all sweating their ass off in pants. every single one of them, and jeans, and so I bought that. But anyway, I was sweating my ass off hiking the top of this mountain because it's stairs, ding 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 ding, stairs, and like beautiful gates, the most beautiful views I've ever seen of all these miles and miles, like so many miles of gates. That was probably my favorite one. We also did like castles. One of my favorite thing, the castle in Matsumoto. A lot of these places, it was a common theme, were burned down over the years. I mean, Japan is a very, very old culture, right? So they go through remodeling and rebuilding and everything. But like fires struck everything. So like a lot of the main structures are just gone because they burnt down. And like, oh, this was magnificent. It was beautiful. But it burnt in the terrible fire of whatever, 1700 and diddly-doo. But it's horrible, tragic, right? All these historical things. But Matsumoto Castle is unique in the fact that it was built, the lord, or, the owner, I guess, of the land or whatever, he built this massive castle, and he made it black and gold, because that was his thing, and then they decided to get rid of the gold, so it was just black and white, which is a very unique trait. And you could actually go inside of it, because it was unravaged by fire, it was unravaged by wars, it never saw a war, right? Nobody ever attacked there. It was like in a world of peace at that point in time, and you could actually climb up the stairs all the way to the top, and the stairs were like this, and they're like, you couldn't even fit two people like side by side. You have to wait for the person to climb up and climb down. It was so cool. It was really neat. I have some really cool pictures from that. But yeah, and then they have like a little shrine at the top. It was really, really cool. I would recommend going there, but I think those are my favorite things. Let's see. I also went to Universal. I don't know if there's a section about that in here, but
actually, no.
That was fun.
I don't know why I didn't write that down, but that is on the agenda. So yeah, go for it.
I went to Universal. Unlike the one in Hollywood and the one here, it's only one park. So the one in Orlando, there's Epic Universe, which is the new one with Mario Land and all that. Then there's Islands of Adventure and just regular old Universal Studios. So they took 3 parks and kind of condensed it into one. So it's much smaller. You can definitely do everything in one day versus the parks here. You certainly cannot. But they have different rides than in the States. They used to have them, I think, as I remember, in the States, but then they got rid of them. So like a big one over there is the Jaws ride. It's like where everyone's in the water. Well, we're not in the water, but you're like in a boat, and then like Jaws is coming after you, and the animatronic shark, which is scarier than hell, jumps out at you, and it's like the story of Jaws, right? He's electrocuted and blah, blah, blah. That one used to be over here in the States, because I remember being petrified of it, but they got rid of it. And that's still like massive over there. The line for that was ridiculously long.
Cool.
And they have like the town, and they have like the giant shark hanging, like in the movie, so that was really cool. They're also weirdly hanging on to Waterworld. I don't know if you know what that is, but it's like a 3-hour fucking horrible, awful movie. And they have like a show for it, and I did not see it because I was not about to waste my time at Waterworld. But that's big over there. They also have like the new stuff like Minion Land. They have Harry Potter, which looks exactly like ours. It was so crazy walking through. I mean, mostly exactly, but like exactly like the one we have in Orlando. And it was like weird. It's like, am I in Orlando? Am I here? In Japan. Very, like everything's exactly the same spot. That was weird. And then of course they have the Mario Land, Nintendo Land, and they had, which I have not been, by the way. That was my first time in any Nintendo Land. I have not gone to the one here in Orlando, even though it's been open for like a year. So I have not been, because that one's still like the rides are broken and they're still like kind of, testing out all the bugs or whatever. But that one's been open, and coincidentally enough, which I'll grab it right now, has been open for 5 years. And so I was all excited last time I showed you my golden band for the first year anniversary of this one. But they have a 5th anniversary.
Gosh,
so it's like a yellow. I know, and it's so pretty. And they had the entrance all decked out in 5th anniversary stuff, like it set it over the thing. It was like very special. And then they had a lot of like 5th anniversary like food for all these places that you could only get, I guess, for something special for the 5th anniversary. So did I get a lot? Yeah, I did. So that was super fun. And so it's like the box is so decorative too. Like the black or the gold box is just like nothing, but this one's so nice. And I saw it and I said, oh, gotta spend, another. That's actually cheaper there by like a lot. It was like $30 something versus over here it's like 50 something, because our dollar is so strong to their yen right now. But yeah, what else did I do? First of all, it's like you're walking into the game, into Mario. It's like incredible. There's things moving everywhere. There's little Easter eggs. There's little Pikmin, like tiny little Pikmin just like hanging out on like different edges and different corners and things.
Wow.
I had the band, so I was lucky enough to be able to like interact with the punch blocks. And like in Donkey Kong Land, you could find the K, you could find the O, you could find the N, you could find the G. So that was really cool.
Oh my gosh.
And then it was so neat. Everything moved. Everything was interactive. Mario and Peach and Luigi and Toad. And I don't think Bowser was there. But Yoshi came out. And they like greeted people. And it was so exciting. It was like, I was more excited than most of the kids there. Let's be real. I was like, get out of the way. It's Mario. You know, I want my time with him. But it was so fun. And then the rides were great. There's a Mario Kart ride. And I will say, we were lucky enough to get the passes, like the express passes. Here, super easy. You know, you just buy one package. Well, there's two packages. There's like unlimited, which is like ridiculous. It's like $1,000. Or like you could do big rides once, and then it's like, you know, a couple of the smaller rides or whatever. The passes over there make no fucking sense. It's like 1,000 different options. So like there's big rides. And obviously those are going to have the longest lines. So they're not going to give you just unlimited for all of those rides. That would be ridiculous. But it's like, you had to pick. Like, if you really liked Mario, you could pick this one. But then you could also maybe pick Jaws and then, like, one from the Minions. Or you can pick all the Minion ones and then, like, one from this and one from that. It was, like, stupid how they set that up. But you're on the time. So you get there. Park opens at 8. Your first thing is, like, 10:30. And the next thing is 11. And the next thing is 12. So we got to experience a lot of all the rides that I wanted to. Minecart Madness, which is the one where you're like in a Donkey Kong game.
Oh my god!
And you're like hopping over the minecarts, and it's really cool. And cover your ears if you ever want to experience it for yourself. Obviously not you, because I'm talking to you, but it's like they obviously wanted to make it like the game where, you know, like the track is broken, you have to like jump from track to track, so you're on an actual track, like the roller coaster. That's one continuous track. It's obviously not broken, but then it fakes you out and looks like you're sitting on a broken track. So it'll fake you, like you're fine. You're obviously not going to go like jumping around, but it feels like you are, because you'll see in front of you, the original track is like underneath where you are, and you're here, so you can't even see it. And then it's like broken, and you're like, oh my god, where am I going to go? And then like jumps you off the wall, and like it was so cool.
Wow.
It was very cool. Whatever ingenuity they had there was quite impressive. I thoroughly enjoyed that. And then the Mario Kart ride, which is you put on like a huge apparatus that would never work here, because I feel like we would just destroy it. But it's like a huge hat. It's like a Mario hat. And then as soon as you get on the ride, it's like the glasses that you put on. And it's like, not like, it's AR, of course. It's augmented reality. You can still see the real world, but then it's like a screen in your glasses, so you can see where the enemies that you're supposed to be shooting at. And it's all like head focus. So like you turn your head if you want to shoot forward, or you turn your head this way and look at the thing and shoot it, that's just cool technology, you know?
Yeah.
It was like what they've managed to do, but that kind of stuff is just, it's so cool. I rode that one twice because it was so fun. What else? I did that one. The food there also delicious, specifically at the park. Like the food in Japan, and we'll talk about it a little bit, but they had like, I wish I could show pictures, but I got like a tiramisu. It was like a question mark block, which obviously is just for, that's obviously not it, but it was a tiramisu inside a question mark block, and they had like a toad like pastry, and it was like pizza on the inside, but it was like you could see like the little toad. Actually, I think I have like a cutout of it. So this is something that I got, but it's like, that's the toad little top, and then there's like little pizza in it and whatever. And it was just so immersive. You're sitting amongst like, you're under like a tree, and it's got like the symbols on it, whatever, and there's screens pasted all around you amongst the tables and whatnot, and it's like a scene of them cooking in the kitchen and like what's bebopping outside, but then like every like 15 minutes or something, like Bowser and his little minions come through, and everyone's in terror and running, and the music changes, and it's so cool and immersive. It's just so fun.
I feel like you go to you go to theme parks way more than I do, but I feel like if I'm going to like Six Flags or some water park, like I'm just expecting like cardboard with cheese on it, but you're telling me the food was like actually great.
It was incredible. Everything that I ate there at the park was incredible. And then Donkey Kong had like a hot dog, right? But it was like a giant. It was like Hawaiian rolls, right? But obviously way better. And they had just taken them and they cut them, and then they made that the bun, and then it was avocado, like not guacamole, like just like pureed avocado and like some cheese sauce. and it had like Doritos crumbled on top or something like that, something along those lines, and it was so good. Like, what a random thing. And then we had Mom and I shared it. It was, I can't remember exactly what it's called. They also have really fun names, but it was like banana soft serve in the bottom, and then it had a waffle cone, popcorn, Cocoa Krispies, and it was like a mango passion fruit like sorbet with popcorn and Cocoa Krispies on top. It was delicious, like just absolutely fantastic.
That sounds so fun and
it was
delicious.
And the coolest thing, Donkey Kong also came out to greet people, but they had like interactive things. Like I said, you could collect, you touched your band on the things and you could collect the letters. But there was, I can't remember his name, but the rhino from the game or whatever, you know, he comes out of the crate and you can like ride him. Yeah. Well, there was drums around, and Mario had the same thing, but if you hit the drums at a certain beat to like the flashing light, like his whole body comes out of a crate. It was so cool. And he's massive, and you're just sitting, oh, you know, it's just a crate, they're just beating on the drums. No, there's a freaking rhino in there, and he comes out, and he like does a little dance, and then he goes back in, and the next people come. But so interactive, the things that they were able to do. It was very fun. And then they also had, I don't know, you watch a lot of anime or whatever, but they partner with like whatever anime is popular. One of them was Jujutsu Kaisen, which my cousin loved. It was also really popular, but then they had another one, Frieren, which is like one of my current favorite animes, and they had a whole setup, like in this nice area. It's more, wow. It's like fantasy, and so it's like witches and like, you know, dwarves and like the whole fantasy kind of thing. And they had like a whole setup and a whole menu based on like the anime and like what they do in the anime. And it was very cool. They also had a specific ride. It's called the Hollywood ride. So there's a Hollywood and there's a Hollywood backdrop. So one of them, Hollywood, is just a regular ass coaster. And then the backdrop is that coaster, but backwards, completely backwards. And they had sound where you could listen to like songs or whatever, but then they had specific, and exclusive USJ sounds from the anime. Like they got the original voice actors, and they like timed it so that you could hear this clip while you're riding the ride, and it's like, oh my god, this ride is so great, and it's like, woo, here comes the big drop or whatever. And so it's just so fun, all the things that they could do.
I mean, that sounds perfect. I'm glad that you didn't go all the way over there and then like have a bad experience with long lines and the machines weren't working.
No, like in at one point something was broken or something closed down and was delayed, and they literally had like a team, and they were like, oh my god, I'm so sorry, like we're ruining your experience. And we're like, oh my god, no, it's fine, like this happens. What do you mean? We're used to this shit all the time. You know. And they were like, oh my god, like bowing, like I'm so sorry, and you're like, we'll come back later, like it's no big deal. It's crazy. Yeah, that was awesome. And I know it's stupid to go all the way over there to freaking Japan and go to a theme park when I have one in my backyard, but like it was such a different experience. Everyone was happy, they were having a great time. Like here everyone looks miserable, kids are crying, you know, they want to go home, it's hot. Everyone here, like when the ride stopped, everyone clapped, everyone got waved at, everyone was like, oh my god, it's like the most magical, like it actually felt like the most magical place on earth. It was just such a different experience.
Wow,
it was crazy. I loved it. And then I also got this guy. So coincidentally, it was also the 25th anniversary of Universal Studios in general. So I got this Mario. He's like all, not iridescent, but he's like lit up like he's got the Power Star or whatever. And it's got a 25th anniversary little keychain and Mario Kart. So I thought that was cool.
Oh, he is cool. He's kind of, yeah,
neat.
Very cool.
And then I also got which is weird because I don't have anything Pikachu related there, but they also had like a Pokemon section. Here it is. And I got, it's just like a little photo album, but it had the 25th anniversary stuff, and he's got like a little party hat for the 25th anniversary. So I was like, gotta have that. So I'll put like our pictures from that in there. But yeah, I really didn't get too much. Oh, and then I got these too. They had so many like snacks. Like that's another thing over there. They have snack boxes galore. So this is just like a little tin. It's got like Mario in it. It's like a little keychain and some cookies or whatever. But nice. Another thing, it is shopping galore. Like people who live there would bring suitcases to these places just to buy things to bring them home. Like
that's interesting.
They would go, I was like, certainly they're travelers, right? No. Like friends would bring their giant ass suitcases to buy. And then I asked, because a friend of a friend used to live up there, so he had like a house up there and like he worked up there. I said, where do they hide their things? Because there's certainly not enough room to be hiding these things in these tiny ass apartments. He says the floors lift up in some of these places, so the tatami mats they lift up so they can hide their collections underneath the floor. And I said, that is so smart. If my floor is lifted up, you know how many things would be under there?
That's so true.
Like they're not like us. Like, they don't have their stuff on display. Like, they don't have massive rooms. They don't have 2 rooms in their house, you know, one for sleeping and one for gaming. They just hide it. But it's so weird. It's like buy all the time. And then the little, I don't have an example, do I? Anyway, the little gacha things where you like put the coins in and you turn the thing and a thing comes out everywhere. Fucking everywhere. Literally at every train stop, near the bathrooms. It's like, get ready to spend $30 on some stupid shit you don't even need because it's just everywhere. And it's like, oh my god, I watched that anime like once 10 years ago. I have to have it. So I tried not to fall into those, but I did get like a Legend of Zelda one. It's like the little rocket, the little missile guy.
Ooh.
I got like one of the shrines was really like their thing was a kitsune, which is like a fox spirit. So I got that. I try not to get too many because they're all like 300, 400, 500 yen, which, you know, is relatively cheap, but like you spend that 10 times, that's like $30.
Yeah.
So I try not to do that a lot, but it's literally everywhere. Like, they have literal giant, massive complexes of just that for like anything you could possibly imagine. I looked for like Pokemon stuff and Zelda stuff, and it's not as common as you would think it would be.
Wow.
And even if I did find one, they're all sold out anyway. Because you think Pokemon fans are crazy here? Damn. They're crazy everywhere. It's a worldwide craziness.
I guess we can talk about the museum if you would like. I'd love to hear about the Nintendo Museum.
So I went to the Nintendo Museum. I signed up for it like a month early because that's how quickly they sell out. So we were in Tokyo, then we went to Kyoto, then Osaka, and then after my aunt and uncle left, because we met them to go to the park with the kids, because obviously that was fun, we went back to Kyoto, because this is the only time I could get a reservation at the Nintendo Museum. And it's like, not in a small town, of course, but it's like, it's not a massive town. It's not like massive Tokyo. It's like a tiny little town, Uji, which is just outside of Kyoto. But it's like kind of in the middle of nowhere. Like, there's a tiny little station to get there, and it was like the whole thing about the station was, hey, we're really close to the Nintendo Museum. It was like one train back and forth. Anyway, we get there a little bit early because the train system, which I will talk about specifically later. It was like they had it locked down. There were security agents outside. They said, hey, what time is the reservation? And I said, we're a little early. It's you know, we have a half an hour. He's like, okay, go stand over there in that line, and only go stand over there in that line. And I said, okay, cool. I don't want to, you know, do anything I'm not supposed to. And they had, they checked your ID. They checked they checked your passport. They checked to make sure your name was on the reservation, was on your passport. Like, everything matched up. I had to designate, because I bought both the tickets, obviously, on my Nintendo account, which you have to have, by the way.
Ooh.
They linked it up to it. Mm-hmm.
You're gonna get rewarded for that in like 20 years. They're gonna be like, thank you for being a loyal customer.
Yeah. Which I'll show you something really cool here in a second, too. Because obviously my mom doesn't have a Nintendo account, so I bought it with mine, and I had to designate it to her, and then she had to make one.
Wow.
So she also has one now. I don't think you had to make one, but it was just easier so she could have it on her phone. Just in case my phone died or whatever. So yeah, and then we got these cards, which I covered up my name, that's why the tape's on the bottom, but it's specific for the 40th anniversary of Mario. So after September, you will no longer be able to get these cards. And this is how you interacted with everything. So they assigned this to you as soon as you went through security. It's got like a little chip in it, obviously, so it knows who you are. She also got one. And you went through security. You had to lock your bags away. You weren't allowed to bring bigger bags than like a purse or like a small wallet, which is probably better because it, you know, a lot of people in there. But anyway, we were ushered in. We got these cards, and the first thing we did was a photo op. Oh, here's the back too. So it's like the museum kind of like staple pattern.
I want to highlight the freaking toy real quick that we've talked about, 50 episodes ago. It's the Nintendo. It's the
Ultra Hand.
Yeah, the Ultra Hand. Yeah.
That was also really fun. Yeah, I'll talk about that in a second because they have so many things. But anyway, I was expecting a museum, so it's a lot of things on display. But Nintendo like really did something special. I was at this museum for 5 hours, and I could have stayed longer.
Wow.
Except for we had to go check into our hotel. So we got there at noon. My time was not until noon 30.
Did they kick you out?
No.
Okay.
No, they don't. And you can go in as many times as you want. Like if you leave, you can come back in. To like their facility. I don't know if you can like leave and then come back. I'm not sure about that. But yeah, so there's a photo op right in the beginning. It's the warp pipes. It's Mario. He's popping out. You can pretend, whatever, do whatever. And then you go to the entrance of said museum, and there's 5 toads lined up, and they sing, like, you pat their heads and they sing for you, and there's another photo op. And then there's Miyamoto's famous drawing of Mario, right there in the beginning. Like, I'm sure you've seen it.
Probably.
Whatever, he donated that picture, whatever, or not donated, but put it in there. And then you walk in, and there's a sitting room, which has got a bunch of cool stuff. And then there's, like, books and all sorts of history, and you can touch the books, and you can and play with them and read them or whatever. There's, like, Splatoon and Zelda manga and all that kind of fun stuff where the parents can sit. And then there's the store, of course, immediately there on the right, which we did not do immediately because I wanted to not have to carry everything, which is honestly stupid because a lot of that stuff sells out apparently. Like those big, not that I was going to bring one home, but those big pillows, those sell out like incredibly quick.
Yeah. I think those Wii Remote pillows are like in high demand for some reason.
Yeah.
I can't imagine trying to bring a Wii Remote pillow home.
No, that would have been its own carry-on.
Yeah.
They're massive. But yeah, I don't think there was any Wii when I got there. There was only Nintendo 64 and Super Nintendo. I think the other one sold out too. Because I guess they only have so many on the floor at a time or per day. I'm not sure. But there were people carrying around bags with those guys in it throughout the whole museum. I was like, that would just have ruined my experience. But anyway, so you go up, you have to wait in line. They give you a spiel. No cameras, no photos or anything on the museum floor, which I thought was weird. Because they have, like, their whole entire history, from, like, the cards, the gambling, the Love Hotel, like, all of their things are there. The whole entire history is there. So they have, it's like kind of like a circular pattern. So they have like all of the consoles, and they have like a giant section, and they have, which is also crazy, they have the different versions of like the things, but you can tell they're like old copies because some of them are more worn than others. So I don't know if people had sold, on eBay or whatever, and Nintendo bought it, or if this is like a collection from like, but they have like European stuff, and they had American copies in there too. So, like, if you sold on eBay, you might have accidentally sold it to Nintendo and didn't know it.
You're talking about
your part
games,
could be
right?
In the collection. Yeah.
And it's
Versions of
not
games.
like loose cartridges. It's like box stuff.
No. Yeah, it's box stuff. It's all boxed.
Very cool.
But yeah, there's like really, really crisp collection or cases and whatever. And then there's like some really, really worn ones. You're like, well, where did that one come from? But that was really cool, and they have like different versions, and they said, okay, here are like the ones where, and it's like it would have been such good research, and I have I'll show you something in a second, but like this implemented a new technology that no one has ever done, and blah 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 blah, and then this used this for the first time, but like it was such good research material that it sucks that I couldn't film it or look at it. There was an asshole who was wearing the meta glasses who was filming everything, which is like, this is why we can't have nice things.
Yeah.
This is why people hate Americans. Get out of here. But anyway, I did not take any pictures, but I looked at everything. All their toys, their whole entire history, everything they've ever touched. They had, which I didn't know, they made Lego blocks. I think we might have talked about it, but they actually beat Lego in terms of sales for like a couple years in a row in Japan, which is wild. So could you imagine having like a Nintendo set of Legos?
Yeah, that would be super cool.
And they had all of their cards, like every single card design that you could ever possibly think of. You could take pictures of that because that was in the bottom floor. But so they had spots designated to every single console. They had, things that were important to that console. Like, this is a console exclusive. Like, it only came here, blah, 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 blah. They had the different versions. Like, this came out in Japan, it did not come out. And they had specific things. Like, this did not come out in Europe. This did come out in the United States. Here's what it looks like, blah, blah, blah. And they had, like, so many fun facts about things everywhere. And it was set up so beautifully. And then they had, like, a whole section dedicated to, like, their music, from, like, toys all the way into, like, the games, like, the rhythm games that they make, like Donkey Konga and all that kind of stuff. But they have, like, specific things. And they have, like, which I thought was really cool. They have, I think it's, like, 6 screens or whatever. And they have the franchises. It's, like, a loop. It'll go over and over again. So there's, like, Metroid, there's Pokemon, there's Zelda, there's Mario. And it'll have the console, the different, like, it'll have, Nintendo, then Super Nintendo, then Nintendo 64, then GameCube versions of all the games. And it'll show you, like, the timeline and the change that's occurred over, like, the 30, 40, 50 years or whatever it's existed, which was really cool. So it's like, oh, here's a fight scene from Zelda and the NES, and it's, like, pixelated, and then you move to the next one to Super Nintendo. It just shows you, like, how it's progressed, which I thought was really cool. And the Pokemon one was really cool. It's like Pokemon Red, of course, and then whatever the next ones are. And you could see like the towns, the battles, and whatever as it goes through. That was really cool. So what else do they have? Just absolutely so much stuff. It was like almost overwhelming because it was so in your face, but it was so beautifully done. And then they have like the different versions of the consoles. So like they had the special editions of things. They had ones that only came out in Europe, ones that only came out in Japan, and they highlighted all that stuff. And then they had a specific spot that was dedicated to like artwork. So it shows like original, like that's the original stuff. It's not prints, and you're not allowed to take any pictures. And they showed the original artwork, the sketches, the concept art, you know, what people said about things and how they kind of evolved, the designs and stuff evolved, which I thought was really cool. For things like Splatoon, Metroid, Zelda, all obviously the big franchises.
Priceless
and then they sell
stuff.
a book. But, yeah.
It's all priceless stuff
Literally.
that you can only see there, yeah.
Yeah. Again, no pictures, but they do sell a book. So this is the official Nintendo Museum book. I believe you can only purchase it there. They have an English one and a Japanese one, which I thought was nice. And so it goes through some ASMR. It goes through all the history of like the things, and it does show you some pictures of what I'm talking about. But it doesn't show you everything. It's just kind of like snippets of things here and there, and it'll show you like a picture of the. Here's all like the merchandise and stuff that you can buy. It's like a whole page dedicated to it.
That book looks really freaking nice.
It's super cool. You're only allowed one per customer though. So. And my mom at that point, she was like, I'm done. I was just like spilling facts at her. She's like, I can't do this anymore. It was like just me giving facts and facts. She went to go eat in their like little cafe, which I heard they're redoing to make it more like Nintendo themed. Now it's just like a burger place. So super not really exciting. But anyway, then that leads me to the second layer, which you can take pictures. It's like their interactive stuff. Put this up here. And it's like, you have this card, right? They give you this card. This is how you get in and get out. But this is also how you play games. So you're automatically loaded up with 10 coins. And so the games, some games are like 4 coins. Some games are 3, 2, 1. It just depends. So you really got to like kind of smartly use your coins or whatever. Because I think you can buy more, but I wasn't interested in that. Especially because the lines were getting kind of long. My favorite one, and it's the one that I think I definitely spent the most time on. Well, actually there's 2. There's I can't remember what the mechanism is, but anyway, it shoots ping pong balls at you and you hit it. I'm sure you saw the videos where you hit the things in the room and then it like spins or like the lights turn on or stuff like that. That one was really fun. And it shoots ping pong balls at you and you have like, it's like a wiffle bat. So obviously you can't hurt yourself with it, but you're in these tiny little enclosed rooms. There's nets everywhere so you're not hitting everybody. And it's like different ones. So there's like a bathroom scene where there's a toilet and there's a door. If you hit the door, someone's knocking on the door, like trying to get in the bathroom, like, hey man, hurry up. In Japanese, of course. And then if you hit the toilet, it flushes and they're like the toilet paper goes up and down. But they also filled these rooms with like things that they also made. So there was like a printer. One of them, if you hit the printer, like the paper would come out. There was one where Mario and Luigi, they had like bottles. If you hit the bottles, the Mario and Luigi symbols would show. Just like really cool things, and it worked really well. So it gave you like a score. It also every exhibit took pictures of you.
Heck
so there's like action shots of me trying to hit this ball and miss this ball and making funny faces and stuff like that. And then let's see what else. The other big thing, which took forever, was the big controllers. It's like a cooperative thing where you and 2 people have to hit like the D-pad or like the A and B buttons. There was the Famicom, which I think was regular Mario. There was the Wii, which had several different games. There was one with the Wii nunchuck, and then one just with the controller. Nintendo 64, which is what I did. And I think the Super Nintendo was there too. But anyway, you waited in these lines, and you had to do it with 2 people because you each had to scan your card. It wouldn't let you do it. And then for the Nintendo 64, I can't speak to the other ones because I didn't wait, but there was 3 stages you could do. You could collect 30 coins. You could beat the Thwomp at the top of the I can't remember what the tower's called or the stage, but anyway, the Thwomp who like lands and he's got like the X on his back and you have to land on his back.
One of them
from
one
Nintendo
of them's
64.
a Womp, but one of them's a Thwomp. I don't know which one's which.
A Womp or a Thwomp, whatever it is, but this guy with a Band-Aid X on his back.
That's cool.
And you had to kill him, And then the third one, which is the option that I chose, is the hard option because I wanted to see if we could do it. Oh, my mom, by the way, has never played this game in her life, right? Especially not a giant fucking version of it. So we did beat Bowser, and you get a time. So like if you play, nobody chose the stars. We waited for like 20 minutes. There's coins. Nobody chose the coins option. They're like, let's go straight for the Thwomp or Womp, whatever his name is, and then straight for Bowser. And if you beat one of the other stages, you get like, depending on your score and your time, you get like 15 or 20 more seconds added back to your clock. So you could essentially possibly do one, beat it, and then try the next one. We went straight for Bowser. We failed miserably because it's hard, obviously. My mom's never played a game in her life, so I gave her the B button and all the other buttons, and I was just the joystick. So we were trying to run around, and we got killed, and it was fun, and it also took 3 pictures of us. But the Z button, the one on the bottom, was like a foot pedal, because obviously we couldn't reach under there and hit it. But that one was really fun. And then the other thing was like a giant screen, and you used either the NES Zapper or the Super Scope. You could pick which one you wanted, and it was like target practice. I'm sure it doesn't exist anywhere except for this game. It was like 15 people lined up against a wall and target practicing, like not shoot the Toads, but obviously like shoot the Koopas, and then Mario and Peach would shoot across the screen. If you hit them, you got negative points, like just like a good old-fashioned arcade game.
Or like a Mario Party mini game, it sounds like.
Yeah, it's kind of exactly like that. And there was a couple different stages. There's shoot the targets and not the people, blah, 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 blah. And that was super fun. And then you're awarded, because it keeps your score, you're awarded a gold zapper, silver zapper, and then bronze zapper. I got silver, and everyone claps for you. They're like, oh my god, you did such a good job. It was so fun. Like everyone was just so happy to be there. And then the other one, Ultra Hand, which we'll talk about. And this one is like the hardest game ever. But I don't know if you've ever actually held one. Probably not.
No.
But you close, you pull. Okay, so it's like an extending arm. We've all seen it, right? It grabs and then it pulls back. And it's got like little suction cups on the end. And she was trying to give these instructions to me all in Japanese. And I'm like, I'm not understanding whatever you're trying to clock here. But you pull it together and you make it expand. And then there's a little tension rope that keeps the claw open. So when you pull it, the claw automatically opens. And then you scrunch it back down to close, but then you have to hit that tension thing and hit it again. So then it opens, and then you have to do the whole thing again. So I wasn't understanding what she was saying. I was like, yeah, I understand, but I can't get the thing to drop. And getting it to specifically hit, because, like, it was like a conveyor belt thing with, like, Pokeballs, because it's, like, circular, so you can grab it easy. So Pokeballs, like, going back and forth on, like, a conveyor belt. And so you had to kind of grab them and put them in your, like, little basket. It was very difficult. My balls kept rolling all over the place, and she had to go really tough. Fetch them. It was very difficult, especially coordinated and to hit it in the right spot, because it goes out, so you either like pull it back or whatever. But that was really fun. Just like, what a cool little thing. And then one thing that I didn't try because I didn't have enough things was the Love Tester, which I didn't realize had such a illustrious history. But anyway, back in the day, Nintendo did like a love tester. I think that's exactly what it's called, love tester. And 2 parties would hold like I can't remember what it's called, but like little metal like sensor ball thingies, and then it would say, oh, your compatibility, your love level is like, whatever, 55% out of 100, whatever. I guess back in the day it gave people an excuse to like hold hands, so that's why it was so popular, because you really didn't do PDA back in the day.
I do remember researching this many moons ago.
Yeah, and so they made that into a game. You're standing in front of a screen, and it takes a picture of you, like kind of like iToy Play. I don't know if you remember what that is. It's like the camera.
Yeah, I'm going to say this one time. You're the only person that played the PS2 iToy.
Okay, but it's super fun. Anyway, it takes a picture of your face, and then it uses your face, and like you can move your hands, and it shows where your hands are, and it's like a co-op game, and you have to hold hands the entire time with the person you're doing it with. So like you use your hands or whatever. It's just like a cooperative fun thing like that.
Nice.
We didn't end up doing that. I did the baseball one again, and then we did Mr. Game & Watch. Mine was juggling, so literally you hold your hands up here, and then it takes a picture of you, and then it shows you where your hands are shadows, and it sees how long you can go. And I lasted for the whole time, so then it got like super duper hard mode, and it's like throwing balls back and forth where it's like so impossible to even catch them. And it's like, okay, you lost. It's like, damn, I was doing so well. That was really fun.
This
and
whole
then
experience,
thing,
this whole second floor just sounds like such a like a step, like several steps above like Dave and Buster's. Like Dave and Buster's could never.
So much better because everyone was so respectful. The lines were so nice. Like at one point, my mom had done the baseball game, and something had happened. Like I don't know if it clogged or whatever, and like a whole team, like hut, came out of like the maintenance door, and they're like, oh my god, we're so sorry. They were like bowing, and they're like, oh my god, this like again, this is our fault. I know your world is completely crushed. And I was like, I am so sorry. I don't know why I did that. She didn't even do anything wrong. It just happened. Anyway, it gave you a score and whatever. And then there was also other things to do, which is specifically cool because it's very Nintendo. They made like a class where you can make your own cards. And I'm so sorry because this is going to be really loud. I should have gotten this out beforehand. It's like ASMR, but really bad. Anyway, so hanafuda cards are what Nintendo originally made back in the day, which is like gambling, essentially. And they had a class where you could make your own. So they had like paints and everything.
Wow.
So it was like an hour class. Yeah. So they gave you like little stencils and you could paint whatever color. I have like what they're supposed to look like. But I diverged from that. And I picked the one that said Nintendo, which is over here.
Okay.
And kanji. And I wanted that to be red. So I kind of filled it in myself. And you could paint whatever colors you want. And then you glue it on this black background, and you can make them look however you wanted to.
How fun. That's awesome.
And they had a cute little like workshop with a bunch of like Pokemon things and like just cute little nods to all their games everywhere and their cute little workshop.
Yeah.
It was very fun. I would definitely recommend because we got to keep these and take them home, and it's like a cool little part of Nintendo history.
What are the other Hanafuda cards? What were the other options? What'd they say?
I'll show you my mom's. Oh, dang, they fell out of the case. Anyway, here's a couple other ones. None of them, I think I got the only ones that said things. But here's two more. It's like very specific, kind of like Japanese theme things. But you could pick whatever colors you want. There was orange and pink and purple, and you could mix colors. They were like, you know what, just as long as you wash your brushes out, we don't care what you do. Which I thought was really cool. And then, let's see, I guess that brings us to the store. So, besides the book that I got in the art room on the second floor, I also got the Mario Hanafuda cards.
Heck yeah.
Because I couldn't stop myself. They also had, like, the President ones, which I think are, like, their more traditional ones, but I got the Mario ones because they're cool. Also, you can get these literally so many places. I saw these in so many random game stores and, like, used bookstores. So they're not super rare by any means.
Yeah, I think you can order those here from the Nintendo website.
I think you can too. So they're not rare by any means, but I thought it was cool since I went and I got them there. I also couldn't help myself, and because look how cool this box is. It's just a shirt. It's just a Nintendo Museum shirt, but it says Nintendo Museum on it. And it's the specific purple color, which I think you can only get there. Because I didn't see it in any of the other stores.
Genuinely, like, as far as I saw, which, for the listeners, there's a website that has what I would expect is everything that you can possibly buy at that store. And I was looking through it trying to figure out what I wanted to get from there, what I wanted Hannah to get for me. And that was, like, genuinely the coolest thing, but I didn't feel like... That's the kind of thing I would want to have if I actually went,
Right, yeah. Definitely.
But so, yeah, great choice.
I'm grabbing some more things here that I also got.
Yeah, take your time.
So I also got, there's like keychains. So there's two different series. This one is 2006, 2017. So it's the Wii, the DS. Oh, I lied. Call me a big fat liar. It's 2001 to 2017. So it also has the Game Boy Advance on there, the GameCube and whatever. It's just a keychain. It looks exactly like that. This one I got the Game Boy Advance, which I will show you. It's just a keychain. It's just something cool. It's actually the one that I wanted. It is a mystery.
Okay.
You don't get to choose. So here it is. It's really cute. Just like a whole ass model.
The Game Girl Advance.
I know, it's perfect because I don't have the Game Boy Advance SP. They only had this one. And then it has a little Nintendo Museum kind of.
Oh yeah.
A little tile thingy on it, so that was really neat. And then I also got another one. I wanted the Nintendo 64 controller, of course, but I got the original Game Boy, so I'm not sad about it. It looks exactly like what you think it is. I won't open it. I'll spare you that. And then I got these things, which I thought, again, This is what I thought were the keychains, by the way. So it's just like a little packet, like, dang. Hold please, not that one. This, because that one's backwards for apparently. So it's like a, I guess an accurate kind of miniaturization of the console, which I can put this guy in. How cool, right? The little keychain. Because it's purple, but it's stickers. So I thought I was buying a keychain of the Game Boy Advance. Alas, it's a bunch of stickers, which are cool, don't get me wrong. But then I also bought the Nintendo 64, which are even cooler because it's the really neato Nintendo 64 box with like the neon and everything, which I have to show you, so pardon, you're gonna have to edit that, I'm so sorry. But look at this. It's the box.
The
box.
Japanese box, yeah.
So I had to have, well, that's blank, but...
So yeah, that's also a box of stickers?
It's also a box of stickers.
Gotcha.
Like, I mean, I'm not going to say lame, because the box is really cool, but
they're nice, yeah.
They're like vinyl stickers. They're actually really nice. And it was cheap. It was like $3. So it wasn't like I spent $25 on them. A lot of the stuff was relatively cheap, except for one of the shirts, and I saw in the other Nintendo stores, it was like $80. At the museum, whereas the other ones, the actual Nintendo store, it was like $40. Maybe it's just because it was limited stock. I have no clue.
What is this? The shirt?
But it was there was a couple shirts that the stores share.
Weird.
And it was so much more expensive there. I know. I also thought that was weird. It's like, that is super odd. I think that's all that I bought there. Which, that's all.
Yeah, you got my magnet somewhere in there.
I do. That's in a specific box for your stuff. I have that all tucked away nice. But yeah, it's a random magnet. It's not, I didn't get to pick.
Oh. Like, what are the options? Like consoles?
No, it's,
You don't have to get up.
Okay. It's, there's like Mario. I think it's these little icons.
Oh,
and then Nintendo Museum is one of them. So I didn't get to pick. So I just picked you one at random.
Very cool.
I think that's all that I got there. Yeah, but we spent 5 hours there, and I definitely could have spent longer there.
Yeah. Going
through, like, more of the games and stuff, but we had to check into our hotel, so we had to leave. But I've never been so, like, totally head over heels for a museum.
Yeah.
Ever.
I mean, it was like a massive building, right?
It really was not that big. Like,
really?
Honestly, it wasn't bigger than, like, a Sam's or a Costco.
Huh.
Like, not even close. Like, their whole compound.
Yeah.
They also had, like, lockers and stuff that had, like, Game Boy games on it, which were cool. So it's like, oh, you can keep your stuff in this. It was very fun. Would recommend going if you can get a reservation.
Yeah, a month in advance is kind of crazy, but that's what I've heard since it opened. You know, it's high demand.
Yeah, it's wild. And they're also nice. They're, like, also happy to be there. I mean, obviously they're working a job, right? A 9 to 5 or whatever, but, like, everyone was just so happy.
You have any idea how much it costs to get in?
It was like $30.
Whoa,
I think.
wow.
Or, like, I think it was 3,000 yen, which is, like, $22 or $23.
They're banking on you spending some money when you get in there.
Oh, for sure. I spent goodles and oodles of money in there. But I could have spent more. That's the crazy part. And I had restraint.
I've heard that being in public, I heard this from, like, another podcast, honestly. I don't even know how accurate it is. But, like, just being in public in Japan in general, whether you're at, like, a store or you're on a train, like, you're just, like, expected to be quiet and, you know, not disturb the quiet. Is that something that you saw in places? Yes, absolutely true.
So, like, things like public transportation, you can speak in, like, a very, very low volume, but everyone is very quiet. And I thought, well, it's kind of an odd custom, but could you imagine if and these trains are packed, right, at you know, peak traffic time. Everyone talking. In America, it would be so goddamn loud. Everyone would try to be talking over each other, and it would be horrible. Imagine a 9 to 5, or, like, sometimes over, right? And you're just trying to go home, and everyone is, like, yelling, trying to be the loudest person. So yeah, everyone's quiet. Trains, super quiet. It's like, sometimes they're so quiet it's awkward to, like, even talk and be like, Mom, ours is the next, we gotta get off at the next station. You know?
Yeah.
Very quiet. The only times where it's not is like when you're in the big cities like Shibuya or Shinjuku or like anywhere in Tokyo. Everyone's gonna be loud because there's so many tourists there and people are talking and there's things like being played at you and come over here, bye bye bye. That's the only time when it's not. Actually, when Mom and I got off, we got to like our hotel like 4 o'clock and we needed like waters and like some snacks or whatever. We went to a place called Don Quixote, or Donkey for short, and it's like a mega mart. And it's everything is talking to you and telling you. It's like one giant big advertisement. Everything is everywhere, right? And the aisles are so small, and so like everything is like in your face. And we were exhausted and like just wanted like a snack, like a sandwich and some water or whatever. And it's like wow wow wow, everything's talking at you and telling you to buy 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 buy. And this is like the best face cream ever, and this is like the best butt wipes you'll ever wipe your butt with, and like just crazy stuff. Like everything. There's food in there. There's suitcases in there. There's clothes. There's like skincare, there's medicine, it's like a whole also pharmacy, all in like the same place, telling you bye bye bye. Crazy. Like trains going around and like toys walking on the floor. It was like super loud and overstimulating. Crazy to get off of a 16-hour 18-hour travel day. But yeah, everybody's quiet, everyone's very respectful, especially when you go to like shrines. It's not like they're like saying don't talk, or God's gonna hate you or anything like that, but like just be respectful, don't be too loud. Even the kids. Like, you're over here and kids are screaming and crying and, like, babies will be babies, but, like, they don't cry. They don't scream. They're born as little adults. Like, when we were on the trains, like, these elementary school kids, like, 5, 6 years old, ride the train and ride the bus by themselves. No parent.
Oh, wow.
And they're just sitting there. They're just, like, looking out the window. They're not on their phones, because I don't think they really have phones. They're just kind of, like, looking out the windows. They're, like, studying. They're, like, doing things that, like, our kids would be run over by those buses. Are you shitting me? Like, I don't, it's wild. But yeah, everyone's definitely quiet. But like, just don't go there being like a typical loud ass American, because you will get looks. But they're not gonna like kick you out of anything unless you're like being super obnoxious and disruptive.
Yeah.
So like, don't talk or anything like that. But yeah, they're definitely on the quieter side, which is, and most people like don't come up and talk to you. Like an American would like smile at someone on the street and be like, hey, how's it going? They don't do that. They don't hardly look at you in the eyes at all. Like we'd look at each other in the eyes and we'd smile or be like, hey, how's it going? Like, how are you doing today? Even if we don't know the person, complete stranger, they don't do that. There was only a couple occurrences where my mom and I were in a small town and it was super hot. We were exhausted. All the stores were not open yet, because that's another thing. They like these smaller towns, like they don't open till like 10, 11 a.m. Like the whole town is asleep. They go to bed at like 8 o'clock. There's like not a siren, but like something that comes over the loudspeaker in the whole town and is like, hey kids, go on home. It's time for bed, do your homework, whatever. And everyone listens, everyone goes home. It's like the restaurants are closed, everything is closed. So if you don't like eat before that, you're kind of screwed because nothing's open. And then the world picks back up again. Especially on the weekends, it's like 10, 11. So like if you want something to eat, like we go out to brunch, we go out to breakfast. It's like not a thing. But yeah, we were sitting in this tiny town. Nothing was open yet. And this lady was walking around. And she sat down next to us, which is another thing. There's, like, no benches anywhere. There's, like, a couple in the train station or a couple, like, by bathrooms and stuff. But, like, they don't have places to sit down, period. So when you go there, expect to be walking and on your feet for, 12, 13, 14, 15 hours of the day. But yeah, she sat down next to us. And my mother must have looked exhausted and sweaty and just absolutely miserable because it was hot. And she offered her hand of cherries, and she said, cherries. And my mom was like, what? And she's like, cherries for you, eat. Because she didn't really speak any English. And she just came to us out of nowhere because she was like, this poor white woman's going to die on my porch step. But yeah, they don't normally like come and talk to you. So that was definitely something that we experienced. But everyone's very friendly. Like if you do talk to them, they're not going to be like, oh my God, get away from me. You know what I'm saying?
I mean, maybe your Japanese helped with that.
It definitely did, because she hardly spoke any English, and so I was talking to her. I was like, what's your name? Are you around here? Like, what's your favorite place to eat? Just like normal conversational things that you learn in like Japanese 101. And she was like, oh my God, I was just trying to get this white woman some cherries.
Yeah.
But anyway, yeah, they're definitely quiet. They're very quiet.
Nice. Okay. I guess we've talked a little bit about the traveling, but did you end up like renting a car? Were you on a train every time? Taxis, buses? Tell me about how you got around.
So we opted to not do a car because, one, they have like so many, like, I've never seen those cars. They're like short and stubby and they're like compact, because a lot of the places don't have, like, you're not going to see like a big jacked up truck like I'm sure is a normal occurrence in Texas. Like, they don't have that. I think their biggest one is like a van, but it's not even that big. Like, I think it's still smaller than our average truck here. But no, because they drive on the opposite side. I didn't want to drive. My mom didn't want to drive, so we opted for public transportation. Mostly trains in the big cities like Tokyo. You could literally, there's so many stations you could get from one big town to another big town in like 15 minutes if you hop on the right train. We also did buses. Like Kyoto is a lot of buses, and these smaller towns are mostly buses, which is not as reliable and not as big as the trains. Like, it's like a 20 car train, right? So many people can fit in these motherfuckers. Train, it's like, I don't know, there's like 12 seats and like the rest of the time you have to stand up. So trains were my preferred method, which is why I enjoyed Tokyo so much. The buses were not my favorite. And then those were like normal, like, not school buses, but like normal public transport buses, which I'm sure most towns have. You've probably just never been on one. And then there was also specific buses. So like the small towns that we went to, they didn't have any trains to go from one place to the other. So specifically Kanazawa, Takayama, Shirakawa-go, and Matsumoto, we had to take like charter buses, because that's the only mode of transportation to get there direct. You could go like around the long way, but it added so much more time. So we were on like fancy charter buses for a couple hours, which has like the luggage storage underneath and everything. We also took a taxi twice, because we stayed at a really nice hotel that I really wanted to, with like the private bath and everything. But it was like 35 minutes away from the station, and there was a bus, but we had our luggage, which is another thing you have to consider. A lot of people tell you to do the takubin, which is like the luggage transport, like delivery service, and that was just not viable for us. We asked the first hotel, and they said it was going to take 4 days for our luggage to be shipped from one place to the other. And I said, 4 days? We'll be gone from that place in 4 days. So it's really only if you are going to stay in one place for a long time. It's like to and from the airport. I think maybe it's just because it was a busy season that it was going to take so long, because I've heard people have great success. But even when my aunt and uncle tried to do it, it wasn't viable for them either. So that kind of sucked. But yeah, we took public transportation the whole time. And don't even get me started on the train system. I'm sure you've heard that it's bad and it's confusing, and it is 10 times fucking worse than you ever could possibly imagine. It was like a nightmare. Google Maps, great for that, because it'll tell you exactly what line and like where to go, what station,
nice.
What platform to go to, which was really nice. That was super helpful. I could not imagine navigating without it. But these stations are like massive underground cities. And I think my mother's theory, and I think it's right, is they spend so much time in these stations that they make it like your second home. Like, specifically for Tokyo Station, which is the biggest station in Tokyo, it's Tokyo Station. It has, like, I swear to God, you're like 300 feet underground. So many, it's like a mega shopping plaza. There's like
oh wow,
a whole floor donated to just like restaurants. And this is just like, I obviously didn't travel the entire thing because I would have been there for 3 weeks. It was wild. But there's like a floor for restaurants, and there's a floor for like a really nice, like high-end, like Gucci, like Prada, like all these fancy things that I guess people need, right? And then there's Character Street, which has like Pokemon Center. It's got a Kirby Cafe. It's got like anime stores galore and like Hello Kitty and like all those kind of things. It's called Character Street. It's really big there. And then they have like another level, which is like just snack boxes and like prepared foods and like bento boxes, which are like they give you a lunch in like a little box and they heat it up for you, whatever. You take it home or you eat it on the train. And then like a whole massive part dedicated to coin lockers, which is where you can leave your luggage if you buy things or whatever. It's like $10 to store it all day. And massive. I mean, absolutely massive. I want to say that we were there for like 2 hours, and I think we, discovered like this much out of this massive structure. I mean, it was huge, and there's like 30,000 different entrances. There's 16,000 staircases, and I'm not exaggerating. Like, I really think it's that. It's like the most complicated maze you've ever been in. And they need to work on their signage, because a lot of the signs, like, would point you in the right direction, but then, like, if you missed it, like, over there in the corner, if you didn't turn your head back, you'd be completely lost. Like, just absolutely wild structures. Like, I'm not even doing a good job of explaining it, but just think of every video game possible hard map, like water dungeon, water temple, and Zelda. Like, think that, but like a gajillion times worse. And like thousands of hundreds of thousands of people, bam, 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 coming and going.
Yeah.
And they know like what they're doing. Like, Japanese people walk with a fucking goal in mind. They're not just like la 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 la. No, they know where they're going, and they're gonna get there as fast as they can. So it was a wild experience, and not every station is like that, but like obviously the big ones are. Wild massive complexes. Like, I can't. It's like whole massive shopping malls. Like, think of like the biggest Mall of America mall. Double that, triple that, quadruple that. You know, exponentially. You know, whatever. They're huge, and you're gonna get lost. So give yourself more time than you think you need to find the trains, because you will need it, and more.
Yeah, that's a good tip for sure.
It was, I mean, I have never experienced something like that in my entire life. My poor mother, I planned the whole thing, right? She had no idea what she was doing. She would not leave my side because she was petrified she'd get lost. And I think she would get lost.
Yeah.
It was definitely something to research before you get there, as much as you can. I don't know how much more prepared I could have been, but it was wild.
Wow. I think that covers everything I wanted to talk about travel. You said you had walked a ton.
Yeah.
I guess, like, the streets, I mean, are there, like, separate streets for walking, I've heard, and cars are on, a totally different area?
Yeah, so there are, like, markets and stuff where cars aren't allowed. But honestly, it's not very clear where you can and cannot walk. So, like, I feel like we walked down, like, car-only streets, and we were walking on, like, the sewer drains. Because, like, that's all, like, the path that you keep. But it wasn't, like, don't walk here, you know? It was so strange. And then a lot of their streets are, like, one-way, so... But, like, so, no, they're two-ways, but they're small, like, one-way streets. So, like, the cars, like, pull off to the side or, like, barely... like, they're, like, so close, passing each other. And I was like, well, I don't know if I can walk here. No one's yelled at me yet, you know?
Yeah.
And some of the maps direct you that way, so it's, like... I don't know. Like, I'm not from here. I don't know. But there are, like, obviously sidewalks and, like, around the big temples and, like, the castles and whatever. But yeah, it's very odd. I guess just walk, you know, keep a safe distance from the car, and if a car's coming at you, move. You know? But yeah, I think we walked, like, especially me. My mom would take breaks and, like, go eat at a cafe or, like, go back to the hotel. But I walked, like, 25,000 steps, like, every day, almost 30,000 steps. Dang. It's a lot.
Yeah.
Absolutely a lot.
Let's talk about food on the opposite end of the healthy spectrum here. Let's talk about food.
Yeah.
Did you always eat out? Did you guys, I mean, you were constantly traveling to different hotels and stuff. Were you ever, like, at a grocery store, bringing food back to cook or anything?
No, we didn't cook a single time. But
nice.
That being said, we didn't eat breakfast, lunch, and dinner out every time. Normally it was, like, we'd grab, like, a pastry or, like, a sandwich or whatever from the Family Mart. Okay, so there's three. Hold on, let me just explain this. There's three big, like, convenience stores. There's Family Mart, there's 7-Eleven, which I know about, and then Lawson Station. Those are, like, the three big boys. I'm pretty sure they're owned by the same people because they share a lot of the same things. But alas, so like I said, a lot of things don't open for breakfast, so they're not open till like 10 or 11. So you normally just go to a convenience store, you get like a sandwich, you get like a rice ball or something like that. My favorite was a fruit sando, and it had pineapple, orange, and peach. And then it has, like, cream on it. I'm sure you've seen it. It's a very Japanese thing. It's
on
cut
bread?
in half. Mm-hmm.
Sounds
fruit
good.
on bread. And you're like, that sounds weird. No, it's delicious. I had one literally almost every single day. And that's not a joke. But it's so... But they also had, like, turkey and ham sandwiches and things like that. And then rice balls, the onigiri balls. They had ramen in there. Like, think, like, a good convenience store. Like, not a shitty 7-Eleven here or, like, a Texaco or, like, any of those other places. Like, really good quality food. But, yeah, it's usually what we did for breakfast. Or we went to, like, a bakery or someplace and got, like, bread or, like a curry bun or something like that. It's normally breakfast. And then lunch depends on where we were. I like to eat, like, I'm not going to go to, like, a chain restaurant as much as I can avoid it. Or, like, a, you know, like a... not a good restaurant. Like, I wanted to eat, like, local cuisine, because obviously that's part of the reason why I'm there. There was only one meal we had, which was not good, and it was because, and I blame them. The kids were hungry, and we were in like a really touristy part of town. It was like the Denny's of Japan, so it's like, okay food, but like not the best food. But everything other than that was just absolutely divine, and it is just so much better than any food that I have ever had here, by like a lot. Like everything was good, everything was delicious, and a crazy thing is like their calories in their food is like so much less. It's like a third. Well, no, but like convenience stores or like their ice cream or like their sodas or whatever. It's like a third of what it is over here, which I'm sure it probably carries over to the restaurants too. Not that it says, but like I could go in and I can get a giant bottle of iced tea, and it'll be sweet. It'll be sweeter than sweet, like sweeter than, Southern iced tea, and it's like 70 calories for a giant massive bottle. Whereas we get that over here, it's like 300, 400 calories.
Interesting.
For the same amount. It is wild. And the same thing goes for their milk, their cream, their bread, everything.
Oh my
and
gosh.
their ice cream, like we had ice cream because it was so hot, like every single night, and I swear to God, I could eat ice cream, and it was like, I don't know, maybe 400 calories, whereas if I eat that much over here, it'd be like 3 days worth.
Yeah. I mean,
wild.
I guess we just pump our food so full of horrible things. I don't know.
Sugar and fat and everything tastes delicious. Like, even if you would have told me, oh, it's made with like a lower fat milk, like a lower fat content, I'd be like, what? You're shitting me. Like, that was the most delicious thing I've ever eaten. So I don't know how we fucked up our food so bad over here. I really couldn't tell you, but everything was better over there, except for the Denny's. Literally everything. Like, just their milk was so tasty, so delicious. They're really proud of, like, I'm sure you've heard of like Wagyu beef and like Kobe beef and all that. It's like, that's there. But they also they treat their cows so well that their milk is like nectar of the gods. You know what I'm saying? Everything was so good. But yeah, I tried to do a variety of food. So like the ramen, the gyoza, which are like the dumplings. We did soba noodles, which is like their buckwheat kind of noodles. We kind of sushi, like raw sushi. I tried to hit at least one of everything. Yeah. And everything was delicious. Like their omelet, I'm sure you've seen that, where they cut it open and it falls open on a bed of rice. So good. Everything was delicious. And they even do, God damn it, and I hate to admit this, they do American food better than we do. Like, we had, one of the last nights we had a cheeseburger. Because we had eaten so many fish things. If you don't like fish, you're really probably not going to like their culture very much. We'd eaten so much fish, my mom was like, let's just have a cheeseburger. And I said, you know what, fine, whatever. How bad could it be? Oh my God, it was so good. Like, so delicious. One of the best burgers I've ever had in my life.
Wow.
Because they're meat, and everything they put in it is just so good.
Yeah,
and then we had French toast. Delicious. At like some random tiny little town. It was the only restaurant open. It had just opened. And it was like delightful. And they put ice cream on top. Delicious.
Wow. Good thing I ate dinner before recording this.
I know, I have not eaten yet, so if you hear my stomach growl, that's my fault. But everything was so good. Even the stuff at the theme parks, which you think would be just like hot dog garbage. Yeah. Delicious. Like, good quality, tasty, thoughtful meals.
That's freaking awesome. One question we had from a listener, Teller Suit, said, were there any chains, like were there any stores or franchises in Japan that are completely different in America? And I bring this up during the food conversation because he said, for example, in China, Pizza Hut is a fancy restaurant you can bring a date to.
Now, as far as like fast food restaurants that we went to KFC, which is kind of fascinating. Because they don't like strong smells, which is another thing. They don't like being loud, and they don't like strong smells. Like, if you wear perfumes.
That's why
to like a restaurant.
You were talking about the train. You said you could eat on the train. I found that kind of shocking.
Their food doesn't linger like ours. Like, you walk into a KFC, you walk into a McDonald's, you're gonna walk out smelling like KFC, McDonald's. That's not the case over there. We tried KFC because that's like a big thing over there. Their chicken doesn't smell. Like, obviously it smells like chicken when you put it like right to your nose, but it doesn't like travel. It doesn't linger. They're not pumping the streets with fried chicken smell. When I left smelling like myself, but it was delicious, by the way. And then I also went to McDonald's. Walked out smelling like me.
Is there anything cool on the menu in McDonald's? Like,
oh yeah,
it's like way different.
Like, not even sure a Big Mac was an option. Of course, I ordered it in Japanese, so I wasn't really sure what I was ordering. They didn't have an English option. I got a shrimp, like a fried shrimp patty burger, and it sounds disgusting. I agree. I also thought it was going to be bad. It was like one of the best fast food sandwiches I've ever eaten. And it had like it had cheese on it and like a mustardy mayonnaise sauce, but like not like over here, like a little sweeter and a little tangier with lettuce. Delicious. Ate the whole thing. I also ordered their teriyaki chicken burger, which is like a kind of a staple over there. It was okay. It wasn't my favorite, but I still ate it. And then they have fries on the menu, of course. They also have corn and edamame as a side. And then the third option, which I couldn't read, was salad. They had a little box of salad. Undressed. Just dry lettuce. So it was delicious. Yeah, they also had other things. I think it was also for the World Cup or like whatever the heck the soccer thing is going on. So I think they had different kind of inspirations. They had another one. It was like Mexican cheese. Like Mexican taco cheese or something. It sounded very odd. I didn't get that one.
Huh.
But yeah, delicious. No, nothing is really that different. I try not to go into like super American stores. I really wanted to try Domino's, but we didn't end up trying that because I've heard that's really good. No, I can't think of anything. Like,
What's the deal with KFC over there? They just really love it?
Well, yeah, so I think it's really big for them for Christmas. I think it's Christmas. Either Christmas. Yeah, it must be Christmas. They literally go to KFC, get like a bucket of chicken, and bring it home. Like, that's their Christmas meal. And so they engineered it over there so that it doesn't stink up the whole train car like it would here. Like, you get fast food, you bring it in your car.
Mm-hmm. To remove the scent.
Right. Or just don't put all the nasty things in it that makes it smell so ferociously, chickeny. But it was delicious.
All right. I mean, you just talked about McDonald's, so there's obviously like the go up and order type of food. Yeah. Is there also restaurants where you get waited on?
Yeah, so a lot of the times, the restaurants that we experience are very small. Like I said, they're like on top of someone's house, or like you have to walk up the stairs and then back it down alley, around an alley or whatever. They only have like 10 seats, and so when we were with like a family of 6, when I was with my aunt and uncle, they turned us away a lot because they're like, oh, we're only accepting reservations, or like you have too many people, or even their restaurant might not be full, but they only have like one chef and they don't want you to have to wait, an hour for your food. So like, I'm sorry, go somewhere else. Like, they're not going to waste your time for your money.
Wow.
So yeah, a lot of them are very quaint, and a lot of them are like they cook the food right there in front of you, like not hibachi style, right? Of course, but like they're running the whole kitchen like in front of you. They're making the noodles, they're doing the sauce, they're frying the things like right there in front of you, so you can watch it. I'm not sure if the restaurant, the real fancy dining experience we did, was in the actual hotel. So they gave you like a nice yukata to wear, which is like they're like more formal robes. And then they like, it was like a 6-course meal. They gave you like, so it was one of those fancy menus where like they tell you what they're going to serve you, but they're also like a backstory. It's like, oh, why we're deciding to serve this is because it's local doodly doo from whatever. It was like the only like sit down restaurant we went to that was like big, because obviously it was meant to accommodate a whole hotel's worth of people. But we didn't really, we did sit down restaurants, but it wasn't like very big. Oh, I think the one that we went to, and it was really, really cool. It was, everything had closed. Like, we had just gotten to this town. Like I said, the alarm went off, and everyone was like, what the hell is that? Is it an earthquake? But the alarm went off, and everyone went to bed. Gone. And so I had all these tourists walking around trying to look for food, and I don't know if they had realized that people were hungry, and there was such an influx of people that they opened up their doors, and we were like the second family in, and it was like, you walked in, you pulled like the very traditional Japanese restaurant doors open, and it's like this beautiful oasis. There's like a pond, there's like a bridge over the pond, and then you each have your own individual room. It was like is it teppanyaki? I can't remember what it is, but you cook the meat yourself. Like, they give you an array, and then you cook it. They give you vegetables and soup and rice and whatever, and you cook the meat by yourself. But we had our own private room, me and my mom, and it was like beautiful. And then outside was like a beautiful Zen garden, and it seemed like it was a family restaurant. I think it was a mom and her 2 kids, because you could see like into their house. It was like attached to their house. was like just such a cool little setup. It was so nice and so zen, and you take your shoes off, and you know they give you slippers, and it was very nice. But again, very quaint. Like nothing is big. You're not going to go to like an Outback Steakhouse and sit. You know, we did not experience that.
I like the theme of the Oasis. It's like a metaphor for all the hungry tourists. You know, they finally find a place.
It was so beautiful and serene. And then they didn't speak a lot of English because it was a very small place, and so I spoke to them, and they're like, "Oh my god, that's crazy." They're like so taken aback. But the food was delicious. The meat, best meat I've ever had.
That's wild. All right, what else we got here? I guess that's it for food, unless there's anything else you want to mention.
No, just that it's better than here, and everything that they do is better when it comes to food.
The ramen was like to die for.
Oh my goodness, so good. And that was actually at a bigger restaurant where they could accommodate 6 people, but it was on the second floor, and we had our own private little table. Again, very private dining experience. But they also had like the ramen places where you're like looking at a wall and it's like just you. I'm sure you've seen that. It's like isolated. Like people just go in there, just eat their ramen and leave. They don't have to talk to anybody. They order on a thing. They also had a lot of those.
All right, let's talk video games then.
Heck yeah.
Right off the bat, I mean, how many stores do you think you hit?
There was 2 days where I specifically dedicated to looking for video games.
Incredible.
It was Akihabara, which is Akiba, which is like the big, where they have the massive game centers and the Sega and Capcom and whatever. And then Den Town, which I'm pretty sure that's in Osaka. It's like a smaller kind of less touristy, but still very touristy area, which had lower prices and whatnot. But I think overall between like the thrift stores and like the secondhand stores, I probably hit like 10 or 12 total that had like a good selection of video games. Sometimes they had it and there was like 6 games, you know, like in a secondhand store or whatever. But yeah, specifically, I at least hit it in 2 towns.
That's a lot. That's pretty great.
Mm-hmm. Did my best.
Any big ones you want to mention? I mean, did you go to Super Potato?
Yes. So I went to one Super Potato, and I went to most of the ones I went on were a hard off or a book off.
Okay.
That was like the big ones because they're very easy to spot. Super Potato was like very hidden. It was very hard to find, which like everything is, but like you think a giant potato would be super easy, alas not. But the hard offs were really easy because it was like blue and orange, like vibrantly ugly blue and orange logo, and hard off. Or is it book off? I don't know. One of them is yellow and blue. So they're really easy to spot. So that's the ones that we found the most. But yeah, I think book offs were probably the ones I went to the most.
Were these stores, I guess whenever you were inside of an actual game store, not necessarily a book off or anything, were they more focused on the retro stuff? Was there a good amount of modern and retro?
I would say most of them were more modern. Like I think Switch specifically had so much real estate in these places, and then PS5, and then Xbox was like nowhere to be seen. Every here and there I get a glimpse of green and get excited, but it was something stupid. Yeah, I think for most of it, I think it was mostly Switch took priority, and Switch 2 of course, and then but there was still a massive amount of retro games. Like DS, wild. So many. I mean, so much junk, of course, but like so many games. But they had pretty decent. N64 was actually lacking in every place that I went. There was like maybe 10 games max.
I don't remember. I feel like N64 had less games than we did in Japan, and we have only 296. So there, if I'm remembering correctly, I mean there must not have been a ton of N64 released in Japan.
There's not. Like one of the things I really, really wanted was an Ocarina of Time, because that's kind of, I guess, what I collect now, different regions. Nowhere. Crickets. Like they had, like, oh, we had it at one point, but it's gone now on the shelf, which was unfortunate in every place that I went. But yeah, not so much Wii U, absolutely not. Like you were hard pressed to find any Wii U games. PS5, I mean, fair enough. PS4 mostly. And then, but they had a lot of Game Boy Advance and Super Famicom and all that, tons in most of these places. But Switch, I think, definitely reigns supreme.
Michael from the Discord, his name is Verdant C. He asked, "Did you have to travel a lot to find big game stores with good selections?"
No. So I think that's something that they're very rich in, is a lot of these game stores, and they're kind of like really clustered together most of the time. There's only really one that I went into, or two that I went into, that's like, okay, they don't really have a lot for me, but a lot of the times they were very, very well stocked, but also very, very expensive. Like in Akiba, everything was so overpriced. Like the prices that you'd given me, just times that by 4. And I was like, that is ridiculous, because they know, right? It's a very touristy thing right now, and they know there's an influx of people collecting games and whatnot. I had more luck in like the smaller towns, or like just the random book offs that I would see on our travels. Like there was one that was like 7 stories, and I can't remember where it is. Somewhere like you would not even imagine, and that's where I found some good stuff. So it's hard to find it in the big cities, because they know it's very expensive. But it's also kind of where you find a lot of cool things, but they're also really expensive.
And there's a ton of traffic in there. There's a bunch of people buying the stuff that everybody wants. Yeah.
Yeah, and just imagine this: the freaking aisles are like this big, so you have to like scoot by people. You're like, I'm sorry, excuse me, I gotta get over there. But yeah, I would say it was kind of overwhelming, because they all have their different, like I was telling you, they all have their different rating systems. And of course, I know Japanese, but even that was like really hard for me to understand. Like I don't understand what they mean. And even like we know there's good condition, there's mint condition, there's sealed, there's fair condition, there's poor condition. I don't know what, like, in my mind I know what that means. Like obviously if something's in fair condition, it's probably beat the fuck up, right? I don't know what their rating system is. That's probably something I should have looked up. But even every different place that I went to also has a different rating system. So it's not like standardized over there. And then a lot of them they're all wrapped, by the way. All the games on all the shelves have been wrapped, like meticulously wrapped. So I was watching them do it. So you can't open them. You can't like, oh, this manual and this one's really good, and this manual and this nicer box. You can't switch them out. That's not a thing. So that was all very, very confusing. So, like I said, I did my best, because it's wild.
So, I was going to ask about condition. Just in general, was stuff, like, compared to what you see here, was it just cleaner, like, across the board?
Well, sometimes it was hard to tell, because like I said, everything was wrapped, so you had to like really look at it and examine it thoroughly. But yes, I would say most things were really nice. And honestly, the amount of loose things was shockingly low. Like, wow. I think they had more in-box things than loose things. Like, obviously Game Boy and like DS. But like loose N64 cartridges, I saw like 10.
Strange.
It was crazy. Like they were so few and far between.
Something that you hear a lot on YouTube and the internet is like people, one, take care of their stuff a lot better over there, and two, well, I don't know if this is something you hear on YouTube, but like I guess it's kind of implied that they keep everything and they're not. I don't know. I guess as part of keeping it in good condition, they're also keeping the original packaging.
Yeah.
I don't know. Maybe I made that up, but it sounds like that's what you saw.
That's definitely what I saw. It's definitely the trend that I saw. Obviously, like I said, there were loose things, but like hardly any. And yeah, I swear to God, they had more in the cases and in the boxes and whatever than loose.
That's awesome.
Yeah. They hide it under their floorboards and never touch it, and then they sell it.
So I guess it was hard to tell if you saw a bunch of sealed stuff because it was all in plastic wrap.
Yeah, I mean, I'm sure the sealed stuff was probably in the cases. I just couldn't touch it.
Their old stuff also didn't come in shrink wrap like ours. Like N64 games were just in a box without shrink wrap when they were brand new. Oh. So there's that. I did not know that.
I did not know that. Yeah, I don't remember seeing anything sealed that obviously wasn't like modern.
Michael also asks, is there a particular area or store you would recommend for retro games like Game Boy Advance?
I think I found the most at Book Off, I think Super Potato had a lot, but Book Off I think is your best bet. There's also a place called Animate, or not Animate, it's called Mandrake, which has like toys and figures and also games, and they had quite a few because they're also like mega complexes of like 20,000 stories. So I don't know, it's hard because I was trying to look for modern stuff, of course, more for me, and then I wasn't specifically looking at like, you know what I'm saying, like I was specifically looking for things. I wasn't like just browsing. So it's hard to really say or recommend a store, but I had the most luck at book offs and hard offs.
Do you think it's worth it? He also asked, do you think it's worth it to visit just to go game hunting? Like, is it worth it to go to Japan just for game hunting, or would using import services be a better trade-off for money spent finding rarities? I imagine you don't have a lot of experience with the latter.
I have imported quite a few things from like PlayAsia and stuff. Especially since our dollar is so strong against their yen, I would say just import it from like those sites. Rather than spending thousands of dollars for an airplane. I don't know where you live, but like for me, it was quite expensive to go over there. So I'd rather have imported all those things. Had that been the only reason why I went over there.
Right.
But I would definitely carve out a portion if you are planning to go over there for any other reason to do those things, because it was very fun. Their stores are more stocked than ours have ever been. So I don't know. I guess if you want to spend money to go over there and you're going to do other things, definitely do that. But otherwise, especially since their stuff is relatively cheap, I would just import it.
Yeah.
I mean, maybe not like eBay, because I'm sure eBay calculates it over into US and, you know, charges like a humongous fee. I don't know what that is, but
well, I know what he's referring to. There's like if you want to really not use eBay and you want to go buy games on Yahoo Auctions Japan or whatever, like you frequently will use like an intermediary third-party service. You got to pay them to keep your stuff for whatever, and then have them like they'll take your package from whoever sold it to you on Yahoo, and then they'll be the middle guy who then ships all your stuff to you. But even so, it still sounds like going over there just for retro game hunting is not as affordable as doing that.
I wouldn't, especially because there's no guarantee you're going to find specifically what you want. You know, like I know I had a list of things that I wanted, and I only found a very, very small portion. So, and the stores are clustered, but also they're like the ones that I went to were very far apart. Like I didn't plan my trip around it, but I also went to so many different places that it was easy to kind of sneak them in as we were going. So I don't know.
Yeah.
I guess it's up in the air.
I had heard probably on a YouTube video or a podcast about like some of these, like they're kind of sectioned out, these game stores, and like specifically one of these stores that I had heard about had like its own entire floor dedicated to like porn games.
Yep.
Did you see anything like that? You saw that multiple times?
Multiple times, and most of the time I accidentally walked into it, and then I was like, oh my god, I'm not supposed to be here. But yeah, so the first time we experienced that, it was at a bookstore, and it said in Japanese, it was like 18 only or like whatever, and so I was like, oh, you know what could it be? Oh my god, so many things, literally titties everywhere, and I was like, oh my god, I gotta get out of here. And it was like just a bunch of like old crusty men who's like, they just got off of work and they're like, hell yeah, let's go to the porn shop, you know? And I was like, oh my god, I can't be in here, this is wild. But yes, in most game stores and most bookstores and media stores, they have a specific floor dedicated to, you know, like nudie magazines or, you know, nudie games and everything like that. And many times I stumbled into them completely on accident.
That's funny.
It's because I'm sure there were signs, but I was just like so excited to like go to all the floors and, you know, so overwhelmed that I didn't see it. And then I accidentally ended up in the naked section.
You're like, ooh, don't want to touch anything here.
I was like, don't want to look at you. I can't look at you in the eyes. I need to leave right now. And then, of course, my mom was with me, so it made it even worse. I was like, oh my god. I'm so sorry, Mom. I didn't know. But yes, that is for sure a thing. And it's for sure occupied by older men. Every single time.
I have a question here from somebody. I need to figure out who wrote the question because I did not write it down. Do you have any games that you were looking for in Japan that you haven't seen or wanted? What's it like buying? I think that was from Mr. Dan Evil Robot. I guess this question would be, did you find any of the games you were looking for?
Yes and no. Like I said, the main one that I really, really wanted was Ocarina of Time. Not even a glimpse of it in any of the stores. I think there was a Majora's Mask, but it was missing like the manual or something. And so I was like, oh, I'm not going to do that. But, yeah. So the other thing I was really looking for was the freaking Box Boy amiibo, which I know is not a game. Not even that at all, except for the museum had like 9 of them. And I said, certainly they don't need 9 of them. They could give me one.
They were just on display?
Museum. Yeah. Yep. Every single amiibo was on display. But like in multiple sections. So it's like a Box Boy one. And then it's like, they have so many. And there were so few of them. Yeah, the other things I got, and I'll show them to you right now.
Yeah, let's do show and tell. By the way, if you're listening, YouTube or Spotify, you can watch and see this.
So, and they have like the rating stuff on it, so I'll show you how confusing it is. But and they actually have these little protectors. So this is Zelda 2, the Game Boy Advance. So look how cute their freaking stuff is. I know you've probably seen it before, but I don't really think I've ever seen one up close and personal.
Yeah, I'm usually looking at stock photos. You know, that's pretty. That's pretty awesome.
So this is the like what's in it and what the condition is. And they have, like, notes in Japanese on every single one. I'm like, I can't translate that quick. I'm standing in the store, you know, overwhelmed. Things are yelling at me, buying things, and people are passing me. So that was a lot of the time. This one is in better condition. This one is in not so great condition, but I bought it anyway because I found it. Again, there's, like, the notes and stuff. That's
it's Zelda cool. 1?
Yeah, Zelda 1. And then the other thing I got, which is something that you also asked for, was this one, Tingles. I found one, and I said, well, sorry. I don't find a second one. This one's mine. But I indeed did find a second one. So that one's cool. Very fun. I thought it would be more expensive. Not at all.
Which one is that? I know there's 3 Tingle games. Which one is that?
This is Rupee Ring, whatever. I think
something
this is
about Rupee Rose Land or something. Okay.
Something like that, yeah. This one my mom found. She was like completely lost in the stores, but she didn't want to like be up my butt the whole time, so she found the 2 DS Zelda games, which are not my favorite. I've established that, but she was so excited that she found these, so she's like, you have to have them. And they're relatively cheap too. I think this was like $9 and this was like $6, so I was like, okay, you know what? It's fine.
Those are, I think, on at least if there's any silver lining, I think those are both different cover arts than what we got.
Yes, they are, which is a theme over there with Zelda. And then this one.
Oh yeah, like Master of Illusion.
So I bought this one. I don't know if we got this one in the States or not. We did, but I just thought it was really cool how it was a big box. I don't have very many DS big boxes. And I believe this was published by Nintendo. So I was like, well, that's kind of a cool little thing. And then I still don't know what this is. I don't know if the game's in here or what, but it's a Bait and Kato's
whoa.
pack. I don't know what it is. Like I said, I haven't opened it yet. I don't know what it is. I don't know what's included, but maybe it's like I definitely hear a game in there, so I don't know if it includes the game, but it was like $16.
That is right up your alley. That's super interesting.
Yeah, but for anyone listening, it's like a collector's box.
Looks like some kind of special edition, or I don't know.
Yeah, so that's for the GameCube. Let's see. The other thing I got is this, because this was super cheap. Just the what is it? 25th anniversary? Yeah, 25th anniversary for Mario. I thought it was cool because it's yellow and orange. That's not something I commonly attribute to Mario, and it was super cheap. Again, it was like $5. That's
insane. Nothing like that is ever $5 here. Zelda is not $6 or $9 here.
No, so I was like, I have to have this stuff. So I really didn't spend that much. I guess we didn't really talk about it, but I also went to all the Nintendo stores.
Oh yeah.
and I'll show you my most prized possession, which is the thing I'm most excited about. I don't know if that was a question or not, but I went to the Tokyo store first. It was just kind of a coincidence we went to the other stores. I was only planning to go to the Tokyo store, and
I will say, what was the biggest grail from Japan Hannah was able to add to her collection is from JD the Mighty Mesprit.
I got a shirt. It's a shirt and a tube. The tube got really damaged in transport, which is unfortunate, but that's fine. But I went to the Tokyo store, super disappointed because they didn't have the thing that I wanted. I don't think they sell them there, which is why they didn't have them. And then I went to the Kyoto store, which I think is their flagship store, and I got the Link statue.
Ooh.
The exclusive. I think you can only get this from Kyoto and the Osaka store, which I also went to. But it's a model of the Link statue that greets you at the door.
I'm already on board because it's exclusive, but that is a freaking beautiful statue.
Yep. It was my most expensive piece, but again, it was only like, I think it was $7,500, so I think that's like $60, which honestly is on par with the amiibo we have now, for real. So.
That's so sad, yeah.
Yeah. So here we go. But yeah, this thing sells for like $100, $200 on eBay all the time, and so I was never willing to pay that price. So I found it, and they had so many, and they also had a Mario statue and a Pikmin one. I think they also had a Splatoon one. So I could have collected them all, but the only one I cared about was Zelda.
What a beauty.
And then I know. And then they had a whole amiibo wall in every store. Usually just the most current amiibo, but they also had like some of the older Smash Bros. Like they had Toon Link. They also had some of the like the special edition Zelda ones, like the Skyward Sword one and the Majora's Mask one, which was really cool. None of the ones that I needed though, unfortunately. I really thought I'd just walk in there and get a Box Boy one, but alas, that's not the case. That one's also super hard to find there. And then I have your games. Do you want to see them? You want to show the audience, or?
Yeah, show them what you got for me.
Oh, here's your magnet. I knew I had it somewhere.
Heck yeah.
It's a random one. Let's see. So I got Picross. Dun, dun, dun,
oh, the Grail, dude.
Mario.
It's Mario and Wario's Picross. Or Mario
Heck
Picross 2, I don't remember.
I think it has all the things in it, but again, a different rating system completely from a different store. So I try my best with that one. Let's see what else we have. This one is super cool. So it's Rayman on the Dreamcast.
It's a Rayman 2, my childhood favorite. Tell me how you found this and everything.
Well, okay, so this was in the case, and obviously it's not factory sealed because it's shrink wrapped with, whatever else, but I had been looking for Rayman this was like the 4th or 5th store. I was feeling dejected because not one Rayman, not even on the Wii or the Switch, like the freaking Rayman Legends. And I was looking very specifically. That's the I don't know if you can see it, but that's the hiragana or the katakana for it, and so that's really easy to see. Versus all the other stuff is like symbols and whatever. And I was like, God damn, certainly that one would jump out to me. And then I saw this. It was under some other stuff. It's the only one that I saw, by the way. And it was just like in the back corner, like how when they stack games in the case, it's like some of the stuff is covered. It was one of those, but I saw like this. I saw like this right here, and I was like, I don't know, that's looking pretty Rayman-y. It's like his little hair floop. I don't know what you call that. His ear floopy, whatever it is.
Who the heck knows?
Yeah. And I said, I'm gonna have to ask somebody for that, aren't I? And so I found it. It's the only one I saw. It's the only Rayman thing I saw. Period. The only problem, and I know it sucks, is there's a crack on the back.
I don't care.
Which I figured you wouldn't care about. But also was like super cheap, I think. Yeah. But, yeah, because like why? Who wants Rayman over there? So yeah, that's the only Rayman
I
thing
am ecstatic about that one.
And then, the other things I got for you are, and this one I found, and this one's in fairly good condition. It's, what is it?
Seiken Densetsu 3?
Yep. This one I actually got to ask for in Japanese because it's really easy. Yeah. So I saw a copy in the Super Potato that I knew was missing the manual, and it was like significantly cheaper. It was like dirt cheap, like super nice. And the box was in way better condition than this one, but didn't have the manual. And I was like, you said don't bring you home anything without the manual. So I said, nope, can't do it. And then I saw this copy, which was not significantly more because it wasn't that expensive anyways, but the box was in worse condition. And I was like, oh man, what do I do? Do I get the better condition box with the missing manual, or do I just go for this one? And so I went for this one. I mean, it's still really, really nice condition. It's not like it's
You
beat the
made
fuck
the
up or
right
anything,
choice.
but like the other one was like super crisp. So I had that moment where I was like, well, damn, I don't know what to do. And then the second one.
Secret
Which,
of
look how
Mana.
cute.
Oh, I
Look how
love
cute.
that.
Isn't that adorable? But that was so cool. So again, I've been too scared to open these because what if they don't have the manual? And I thought this whole time they were complete.
You
So
can
I
just
will leave
take
that
'em
to
back.
you. Yeah. Oh, you know what? I'll just book a flight over there. Twist my arm, right? I'll go back. But yeah, so though that's what I got, and then where is it? This bad boy.
I am honestly, I didn't
So.
know you were going to find that. I'm really excited about that one.
I too am excited because I went to several stores and there was none, and then for a while there was only one, and I said, well shit, this is gonna be really awkward.
Yeah.
Because it was like one of the only games that I actually cared about because it didn't come out over here, and it's Zelda. But I was able to find two, so I was super happy.
Let me find out that game is 2-player, and next time you come to Texas, we're playing together.
Oh, wouldn't that be so fun? And I'd actually I think I could be able to do it too. But yeah, I think this is the thing I'm most surprised about because one, I didn't know was a thing.
Yeah. Is
yeah,
it? I
I
mean,
wish-
what is the subtext under Bat and Kaitos? Is it both games or just one? Or if you don't know, that's totally fine.
I have absolutely no clue. Like I said, I don't know. And then the other thing I almost bought, and then I decided not to, because there was something about it that was included, but it was the collector's edition, the Zelda collector's edition that you could only get through Club Nintendo, blah, 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 blah. They had 30 copies at this one store, and there was a sticker on one of them. I took a picture of it. I can't remember what it said, but it said game disc included, and I was like, so the game discs aren't included in the other ones? But it was cheaper than the other ones, so I was having a moment where I was like, what is so bad about these cheaper copies that it doesn't include the disc? But then this one specifically has a sticker that says it does include it.
What
And of course
game
I couldn't
is this?
ask. The collector's edition of Zelda, the one on the GameCube that you had to get it from Club Nintendo way back in the day. We got it too, where it has Ocarina of Time, Majora's Mask
okay.
1 and 2. So, I didn't get it. And it was also $90 in American dollars. So I was
Yeah.
like, well, I don't want to not get it, and then it not be what I want, you know.
Well, thank
And it was
you
one of those
for
things.
all that stuff.
Yeah. You're welcome. I'm sorry I didn't find more. The only thing I found that was way more expensive was Mother. I think it was Mother 3 that you wanted. That was $200 in American dollars. And I was like, I don't think he's going to go for that one. And then the first Fire Emblem game, which was triple what you wanted as well. And it wasn't one of those things where I could have texted you and been like, hey, I found it, because it would have been 4 o'clock in the morning and you wouldn't have answered me anyway by the time it was there. So it's one of those things. I just made the decision. I don't think he's going to want that for that price.
Good.
And I think
Oh, go ahead.
I think I looked it up on eBay and it was less expensive than that anyways.
I never would have asked you to do all that effort. I appreciate it though.
You're welcome.
What is the time difference? Do you know?
It's 11 hours, I think, or almost
Dang.
exactly 12 hours. I don't remember. It's either 11, 12, or 13. I can't remember. But it's wild. So, I would have texted you. I would have been there at, I don't know, 4 in the afternoon maybe, and it would have been 3 a.m. for you, so you
Yeah.
wouldn't have answered me anyways. And I never went back to any store. So we weren't necessarily one of those situations where I could just pop back
yeah.
over. It was one of those one and done. If I didn't get it there, I wasn't going to get it.
For
Kind of
sure.
deals. But yeah. And then, let's see. I think I got some more things. Oh, this game, the Heavenly Rhythm or whatever, Rhythm Beat or whatever,
Heaven.
had just come out. Yeah, Rhythm Heaven. Yep, that one had just come out, and so all the Nintendo stores had the playable demo and sticker packs and all that kind of things. Not that I'm super uninterested in this game, but it also wouldn't have been my choice of game if I had to play a demo or whatever. But I was
what is
well,
that?
I'm there. These are just stickers.
Oh, okay.
So they had fans and in the game and like T-shirts and stuff specifically for the launch of said game.
What, they were like
Which was
freebies
cool.
or what?
No, definitely not free, but
Oh.
I don't think they will widely sell them after launch. It was like a launch party thing.
Good point. Yeah.
Yeah. So
I
was like, well,
I mean,
gotta get something.
we love rhythm games. We should maybe check that series out sometime.
I agree. And then I almost bought it because it would have been cheaper to get over there, but then everything would have been in Japanese, and obviously I like that, but like it would have been a struggle just to play. You can play. Can you play with someone who has a Japanese version and on a Japanese? Yeah, certainly you can. Because you can play Splatoon with people. Never mind.
Oh yeah.
Never mind.
I forgot what I was gonna say. If anything.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, that pretty much wraps up all our questions. It wraps up the questions that the listeners asked.
Yeah.
I was worried this was gonna be like a 45-minute episode, which is probably what I say every month. But yeah, I'm glad we got to catch up and I got to hear all about your trip.
I know.
What else?
Oh, I did go to the Pokemon stores too. I forgot to mention that.
Yeah,
Pokemon stores, massive. So I went to the one in Character Street, which is the station, Tokyo Station, where Pikachu's dressed up with like a little conductor's outfit, which is super cool. I went to the one in Kanazawa. I went to the one in, I think there's one in Osaka, and I went to the one in Kyoto. Super crowded. Like, you think the stations are crowded, like there is hardly even room to breathe in those stores. But it was super cool. They had so many plushies, so many things. But they all have like a medallion that's like exclusive to, it's like a little button medallion. It's exclusive to all the stores, and every single time they were sold out. I went to 5 different stores and they were all gone. So I just got like stickers or like 30th anniversary, like whatever. But yeah, like, do you really don't think they can keep those stocked, or is it just for like the hype? I don't know, but
yeah.
I went so many times and nothing. I also did a Kirby cafe. I tried to do the Pokemon cafe, but that sold out, like bought it like crazy 2 months in advance. Whereas the Kirby cafe was 1 month, so I woke up at like 3 a.m., got my tickets, and that was super cute. There was like the what is it called, Whirly Tree or something, whatever. What is it called? Whirl Tree?
I don't know.
Anyway. Oh, Wispy Woods. Sorry.
Oh, there we
Wispy
go.
Woods, the tree. There, and there was like Kirby characters. We got to take pictures. The food was all like themed, very fun. Everything was delicious. There was like Truck Kirby, where he like eats the truck or whatever, and they had the food in there. It was all delicious. That was really fun. What else? I don't know. I think that's it.
Is your shirt from Japan?
Oh yeah, I forgot to show shirts. So this is Uniqlo. They had the Pokemon collaboration. I forgot to show my shirts. You're right. And so I think they just announced that it's coming to the U.S. So I was like, dang, I have all these exclusive things, and it's not even. I also got a Tears of the Kingdom shirt. I assume is left over from launch. That's pretty cool. I got this bag with all the characters on it, which is like exclusive to the Nintendo stores. Isn't it cute?
It's like mostly Mario, but then there's Splatoon and Animal Crossing.
Mm-hmm. So I think that's exclusive. Yeah.
I like that.
With all the characters on it. And then I liked it so much I got the shirt of it.
I love it.
With all the characters on it. Super neat. I got a notebook with those characters on it. Another little guy with even more characters on it. They're all walking, which is super cool. And
where were those at?
Basically it. The Nintendo stores. Okay. So I went to the one in Tokyo, Kyoto, and Osaka. And so it's all different merch from there. They all had like specific exclusive things you could only get there, which I thought was really cool.
Did you go to like a Sega store, a Namco store, any arcades?
I did. This was also another thing. It's like full of little racers. It's like a little keychain. There's like a Zelda one in here, Link one in here. I did. So there's like more traditional like arcades, like pinball machines and like the gaming ones, like Street Fighter and all that stuff. And then there's like really, really intense ones where it's like a rhythm game, and I'll describe it to you the best that I can. It's like a circle screen, like an iPad touchscreen. I know
exactly what you're talking about.
And there's buttons all around it, and you have to hit the buttons in rhythm and also like draw things. Like this man, like I had just gone up there to go to the bathroom, because bathrooms again are few and far between. But all the arcade and pachinko things, which is like their gambling, have bathrooms. So I went to like the 9th floor of this building to go to the bathroom, and there's this man. He's so serious about this. He has hydration, he has snacks lined up around him, and he has gloves on. And he is beating the hell out of this machine. Whack, 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 ding, 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 bong, ding, 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 ding. Crazy. For like, I was waiting for the bathroom for 5 minutes because there's somebody in there, and he had started before he even got in there. So I imagine he was whacking that machine for 10 minutes straight.
Man.
It was wild. But anyway, they had stuff like that, and then they also had lots of claw machines, lots of the gachapon things. And so I did play a couple of games, but they're so, like, I had to put so many coins. It's like here. Like, you just have to put so many coins in, and the claw machines just seemed like a scam, so I did not waste a lot of time with them. But yeah, I also went to the Sega store, got some stuff, but I won't show you. And then I went to the Capcom store, also looked for some stuff, but they didn't really have it. They had a lot of Monster Hunter, which is not my favorite. And then yeah, so I went to all the other stores. I just didn't necessarily get as much, if that makes sense. I went to a lot of anime stores, Yu-Gi-Oh, Pokemon, cards, all that kind of stuff. I just didn't get as much stuff from there. Oh, another thing that I want to show, which is kind of cool, and it's like, I think I would be the only one, not the only one who's excited about it, but they have, and this is everywhere, they have Japan has stamps, like just like literally everywhere, doing everything at temples, at shrines. So they give you a little stamp book, and you can collect stamps at like all the places you go. There's even like anime stamps. There's a Harry Potter stamp because that was super popular over there. I got some Harry Potter stuff. Tokyo stations. Let's see. There's cute little like coffee ones, and so they have them, which would never work here. They have them just on like a little string. There's like a little ink pad like sitting out in the middle of public, and you just go and you stamp your book, and then you move on. But it's like super cute little.
I love it.
Stamps that you're never gonna find anywhere else.
So that was like something that filling out your Pokédex there. I love it.
Yeah, it was so cool, and I almost finished the whole thing. But like every shrine, every temple, every like big location that you go has a unique stamp, and they change them all the time. So it's like very specific to when I went. But it was so fun. Yeah, I only have 2 pages left that I didn't do. So that's another thing that's really unique there.
Yeah.
That I've never seen anywhere else.
I wanted to ask, inside the game stores, was it packed with like consumers, and were the consumers like Japanese natives, or were they a bunch of people like from America?
Most of the people, well, okay, so if I went to a bookstore, it was mostly going to be Japanese people. If I went into like a mixed media kind of deal, if I went into a specific Japanese store, it was like all white people.
Okay.
Like, I mean, there were some Japanese people, but like, I don't think they weren't really looking for like the retro stuff. If anything, they were looking at like Switch games or like stuff like that. But I don't think they were real interested. It was mostly white people.
Gotcha.
Mm-hmm.
All right, I guess that's it. I did have a question at the end of the write-ins for the audience about themselves. I said,
yeah,
what Japanese exclusive game would you love to play or add to your collection? We got a few answers. Teller Suit says, any N64 or GameCube game with a goofy cover, not to play, just to look at.
Huh.
Michael Verdict.
There's tons.
Oh, yeah, you saw some good ones?
Oh, yeah. I don't remember the names. I couldn't read them, but...
Yeah. Michael said F-Zero Climax for GBA, among others. I think I would just love... Like, I could have made you a humongous list. First of all, it would have taken me a long time to make a list. But
right.
Also, I wasn't about to have you, like, have, like, a freaking giant binder full of wish list items. But,
yeah.
Any first-party Nintendo, like, Japanese exclusive I would love. Like the Tingle thing. That was an awesome pickup for both of us.
Yeah. That was fun. There's tons.
I didn't
like
even...
so many, especially for like the Famicom and the Super Famicom. Like there are so many
yeah.
What are they called? They're like novel games or whatever.
Oh,
so many.
Graphic novels.
Yeah, graphic novels or like those kind of like romance sims. So many.
F-Zero Climax would have been a good one for my list. I didn't even think about it. And then JD the Mighty Master said Rhythm Tengoku on GBA, which I don't know at all. Not familiar.
I don't know. Ten meaning God? Like rhythm God? Something? I don't know.
As always, really appreciate you guys writing into the podcast.
Yeah. Man, we should have done this before so I could have looked out for some of these. A month in advance.
We're not going to do news this time
Right.
around, and we're not going to do been buying because Hannah just showed you everything. Actually, we are going to do been buying because I got a few things. And only because they're right next to me, and I'm super excited.
Right.
I haven't posted these anywhere. I have a friend in Korea.
Exclusive?
I got a bunch of imports in July. I got a friend in Korea
Dang.
who like he lives there, and he'll hit me up once in a while on Instagram and be like, hey, found some Rayman stuff, do you want it? And I'll pay him for it and the shipping and everything. I got 2 PC games. This is Rayman teaches, it's like, I know I've talked probably maybe about
God.
Rayman teaching various languages.
Yeah.
He has a bunch of educational PC games, and this one I believe is like Rayman teaches English and maybe also French, because
Wow.
there's a flag up there.
Huh.
But yeah, this is just a beautiful, pristine. The game itself is actually sealed, but this is like a slipcover, and this is like a
Ooh.
fold out right here that opens up.
Oh.
It's very pretty and very cute.
Fun. Look at him.
He's adorable.
He's like animated.
This
Like
one is
anime.
amazing learning games with Rayman. Again, it is a slipcover that folds out.
Dang.
These are both South Korean releases that like would have cost significantly more on eBay.
Yeah.
That one's also
Have
sealed.
you ever met anyone who grew up learning from Rayman? There are like 2 people that exist in the world.
That would be. I would
Yeah,
love to
I love
talk
that
to.
game.
I would love to talk to someone that grew up that way.
Hmm.
I have one more from
Wild.
Korea. This one is. Yeah, this is also PC. This is just Rayman 1, and you can see it is Korean again. It is basically.
Cool.
It says Samsung on it at the bottom. This one was packaged
What?
with Samsung PCs as like a freebie when you bought your computer. They gave you this
Wow, like Wii
awful
Sports.
hard as nail game, yeah. And this one is
Dang,
not
that's super
sealed,
cool.
but it is very clean.
Who would have thought Rayman made it all the way over there?
I know Korean games can be like very hard to find in general, from my experience.
Dang. That's so cool.
I am excited to get a giant box from you of imports.
Yes, coming soon.
Yeah. And then been playing, I've really just been playing Mina the Hollower and Forza, so nothing crazy. I'll talk more about it next month, but this episode's already over 2 hours, and Hannah needs to eat dinner.
That's right. And go to sleep.
Anything else, Hannah?
I don't think so. I'm sure it'll come up a lot, Japan, in our conversations from here going forward, because that's my whole personality now. But thank you for listening to me talk for 2.5 hours.
I will say, I will speak for both myself and the audience. We appreciate you sharing your trip. That was a lot of fun. We've never really done an episode like this, but that was great.
Yeah, good interview. We've stepped up since last time.
That's a deep cut for no one here has listened to all 74 episodes.
No, especially not that one.
Hannah, where can the people find you?
In Japan. No, just kidding. Gangrel Advance SP on Instagram.
I'm at Bird Dog Gaming on every social media under the sun. I appreciate you guys listening this far. And we'll see you guys in August for another episode. Be sure to join the Discord. And we'll see y'all next month.
See ya.